Okay, we're voice live.
Hello.
Oh. Hi.
Hi.
If
Hey,
this
everybody.
becomes a fixture, I will make a Drinks Girlies theme.
Ooh.
Like the Drinks Girlies theme music that when people hear it, they say, "By God, that's the Drinks Girlies music."
What genre do you think that would be?
It would basically be Stone Cold Steve Austin's theme, is what I'm coming to
The
understand.
impression that you're getting. No, I
mhm.
think it would be dreamy. It would be cozy. It would be femme and delightful. Those are the adjectives.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. It's like Sailor Moon
Yeah.
background music.
Oh my God, Sailor Moon background music would be great. I watched some Dragon Ball recently for
I
the first
heard
time.
this.
And I will say that the background music in Dragon Ball is nowhere near as good as the background music in Sailor Moon.
It was
It's
that there's they're like separated by like a decade or something at least.
Get 'em.
yeah, like half a decade, like 3/4 of a decade or something. Dragon Ball was being made in like 87 or 86, something like that.
Sailor Moon was like mid to late 90s, right?
Was it I thought it was mid 90s, but I wouldn't know. It feels early.
TV series
Yes.
started in 92.
Oh, wow.
Too.
Oh.
Damn. Keith is a tiny
yeah.
bit quiet.
Oh.
Okay.
Unusual for Keith.
Let me bump that up on my end. Don't
Yeah.
touch anything.
Oh my God, we are clipping through some rocks. It's great. We're in a Kitty Horror Show game. Whoa! Okay, lots going on.
Surprise Zamboni.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
the viewers' benefit, we did a Media Club Plus bonus episode where we watched some Dragon Ball, and maybe we'll save this for the second part to that bonus. But we forgot to ask if you liked it. I think we talked so much about it, but I couldn't tell you whether you liked it or not.
Don't
I
burn.
do feel-
You gotta save. Come on, you gotta save
Yeah,
that
no,
for
I'm
your.
not
Hold on.
going
You
to.
know?
Well, we're in a potential energy
You're-
state here. This could change with the next 5 episodes.
Yes, I will
I
say
wonder.
that exuding a baffling affect is, I feel like, my goal as a critic. But yes. Welcome to Drinks Girlies.
Welcome to Drinks Girlies. One of the
That's it.
girlies is feeling a little swirly, and may or may not join us later.
What a way
But
to
the
put
rest of
it.
us are here.
That girlie is Alicia Akampora.
Yes.
Who sadly cannot join us. Girlie roll call.
Sylvie, do I pose? I'm posing.
Cool.
I thought we said our names. I'm Sylvie. Hi. I thought it was like a boy band roll call type thing.
Normally someone takes a roll call.
I was going
That's
to,
true,
but
too.
I had just sort of thoughtlessly indulged in my hot drink.
Sure.
I'm Janine Hawkins about Bleating Heart on Places. When I'm here, you should listen
Places.com?
to Places.com. You thought it closed in 2001? It didn't. We sold. Anyway,
Places.com, you can, I believe, you can rent a home
oh,
in Europe.
I would love to buy rent a home in Europe.
Oh, this is like this is one of these things. This is like an app now.
It has become an app, yeah.
Yeah, this is sort of like an Airbnb, but longer term.
I was gonna say people should listen to this week's Palisade. I've heard it's pretty good. It's
That's the
pretty
impression
good.
that I've gotten.
People seem excited about some things, and they are correct. I think it's good. Anyway, who else do we have?
I'm Jag DeKeat, fresh from the Ann Arbor Winter Kindle Fest.
The
Ann Arbor-
Amazon sponsored ebook event.
I had previously thought that it was the Candle Fest, and I was very disappointed to learn that there were no candles. No candles were advertised. I had misread the sign. It is called the Ann Arbor Kindle Fest. Yes. And it ruled. I am going to give a full report vis-a-vis the hot drinks available. But I had a great time. You can find me on co-host at JDQ, and you can also buy any of the music featured on Friends at the Table and its attached shows at notquitereal.bandcamp.com. Today is Bandcamp Friday, in which all the revenue that Bandcamp would usually take goes straight to the artist instead. So they get everything that you send them, except for a tiny bit that PayPal takes out. Bandcamp has been in ownership hell recently. It was sold by the cowardly ghoul Ethan Diamond to Epic, and then the cowardly ghoul Tim Sweeney sold it to the music licensing platform Songtrader, who promptly fired the entire union.
We hate
And the site
Songtrader.
seems to be sort of struggling to keep the lights on right now. But unfortunately, we still rely on it. And if you would like to support me or any other musicians on the platform, today is the day to do it.
Yeah, it's feeling like any upcoming Bandcamp Friday could be the last Bandcamp Friday.
Yes, I hate it.
Yeah.
Isn't it cool that that's just how the internet is now?
Yeah.
Yes. Although, and I know this isn't what you're saying, Sylvie, but I have seen sort of like neo-lib online people just being like, doesn't it suck the way everything has been inshitified, as though it is just sort of a process that happens on the internet?
Yeah.
And I think that it is
It's like
important in
erosion, you
moments
know?
like- it's just like erosion.
Geological erosion.
Yeah.
And it is important to recognize in moments like this that these effects and the damaging effects on the internet that you have enjoyed over the last decades are as a result of individuals making greedy and destructive decisions.
Absolutely.
Profit seeking. Growth seeking.
Right, and
Complete
massive
dissatisfaction
massive
with the thing that
conglomerations
already
of
works.
individuals motivated by profit to make things worse, to make more money. Just a microcosmic, hyper accelerated version of the last 200 years, where you invented a little world and then let all the worst people very quickly become in charge of all of it.
And that's Keith J. Carberry
Hi, I'm Keith J. Carberry.
on the ones
I'm
and
here
twos.
On the ones and twos, here to talk about hot beverages. You can find me on x.com, speaking of enshittification, and co-host .org at Keith J. Carberry, and you can find the Let's Plays that I do at youtube.com/runbutton, and of course also 3 of us on Media Club Plus.
Yes. That's Sylvie, Keith, and me. We're usually joined by our good friend Dre and occasionally by Austin or Ali.
I thought you said auger friend.
Allie's episode is the next episode, by the way. Pretty sure.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
fun one.
Oh, yeah, the Zoldyck family. Exciting. They're all weirdos.
They're all weirdos.
Janine, I can't help but notice that the summer pond of the Drinks Girlies, where the Drinks Girlies hang out, has transformed.
It has, into a winter wonderland where there seems to be some sort of Fargo duck. I don't actually know that. I'm assuming it. I guess it could just be a woodsman of some sort. To me, it is a Fargo duck.
Which is the Fargo duck?
The one that had this one.
Oh, yes.
That's that me in high school duck.
Yeah, no one outside of Fargo, the movie, no one looks like that.
What was your
I-
favorite drink, all of you, when you were in high school?
Oh
Pepsi.
God.
I would house fucking Pepsi. Like
Yeah.
I would destroy
learned-
that shit.
I learned a fun Pepsi Canada Pepsi fact, which
Oh,
is
yeah?
that like the reason you get Coke in a lot of fast food restaurants in Canada is because they are Coke has a deal with a lot of like U.S. chains to have their stuff, which means that a lot of like restaurants, especially Canadian chain sort of semi-franchise or franchise restaurants, they have
Sort of
deals with
fast
Pepsi
casual.
instead. Pepsi moved in on them, so that's why you go to McDonald's, you get a Coke, but you go to Montana's Grill or whatever, they're like, yeah, we got Pepsi here.
Well, one weird thing that happened also is that Pepsi was so sick of Coke having deals with every restaurant that they bought a bunch of fast food chains like Pizza Hut and Taco Bell and KFC, and that's why
That's
you can
true.
get
Yeah.
Pepsi products there.
Yeah, I would just.
Oh,
go
high
through,
school drinks, right?
six
Yes,
packs
that's.
of
Okay.
six
For
packs
me,
of Pepsi while wearing a hat like that one duck.
Oh,
I'm gonna say probably like root beer, but also probably like Arizona iced tea.
Oh, Arizona's a good one.
Yeah.
my
Oh,
God. They
yeah.
don't have Arizona iced tea in the UK, but I find it so psychically delightful. It's
God,
like,
the apple one. Do they still make the apple one? That one
I
was
don't
was my
know.
favorite.
Oh, I've never had that.
I like the hibiscus one. I like
Yeah.
the what's the one just in the like classic green can?
The green tea.
Green
and
tea,
honey.
just green
can.
tea with honey and ginseng. Yeah,
Oh, it's great.
that's the classic.
Yeah, I like that one. I like the sweet tea one. Of course, when I was in high school, Arnold Palmer was the biggest
Yeah,
thing in the
that's
world.
that's the goat right there. Shout out to my man Arnie.
I've slowly moved to disliking the Arnold Palmer.
Get out of here.
It's a little.
Oh, that's
bit,
my
it's a-
like summer like daytime
like
mix
it.
of
Yeah.
choice.
I like it as a mix. I don't like it as an Arizona can.
Oh
Like,
yeah, no.
Conceptually, I'll drink an Arnold
Yeah.
Palmer, but the Arizona Arnold Palmer specifically, I find is like
I like to
both
do it in
bitter
a
and
cocktail
sour.
shaker. I feel like I probably brought that up in the summer Drinks Girlies of like I like to do a
aerate it.
shaken Arnold Palmer in a Starbucks style.
Wait, Arnold Palmer's still alive. I didn't realize. Someone said an
What?
Arnold Palmer just threatened to sue Liquid Death, and I just thought Arnold Palmer was like dead for like 50 years.
No,
Me
no,
too.
he's just an
No.
old man.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I rescind my shout out. I don't know him. Oh, he's dead. Hold
Why is
up.
he threatening to sue Liquid Death? Is it just?
Is it
it's
like
just-
the estate of Arnold Palmer threatening to
I
sue?
think it's the estate. Chat
He's
tricked
a-
me into thinking a dead man was alive. This
He's a
happens a lot.
golfer, right?
It was.
Yeah.
He was
Probably,
a golfer.
yeah.
He died in 2016.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So he was alive back when I was thinking about him.
Yes.
Back when he was on your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, big high school drink. High school was when I found out about bubble tea. Boba. That
Oh,
was when
yeah.
boba kind of broke through in Canada in a big way, at least outside of Toronto. Like this is when it started making it to the burbs, basically.
Uh-huh.
And it was
No, I
still like
remember that.
kind of hard to find, but like we had a bubble tea shop that opened up downtown, and it was like it was just like going there after school was the best shit. It was you go there, you like sit on the couch, you play Jenga, you sip your bubble tea, and then it closed after like a year and a half or something, which really sucked.
That's funny 'cause
And then
I
it
probably
took
didn't have bubble
forever
tea until
just
I
for
was
us
in high
to-
school.
There's something about it that feels very high school.
Yeah.
Because it's
It was-
sweet and it's social, and also there's like a food element, so it's like you don't have to go to a restaurant to sort of get a little after school snack kind of thing.
There's something
What's
about
the
it that also feels like an intermediary step to like coffee for some reason to me.
Well,
like an
so,
intermediary step to an iced coffee, but that's
My
just
high school
brain.
was that's the other thing in high school, ice caps from Tim Hortons. Just
Oh, yeah.
hated coffee, but downed an ice cap like
What
no
is
one's
an ice
business.
cap?
Ice cappuccino. It is not really an iced cappuccino. It is like a coffee slushy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's nice, but my high school was directly across the road from a Tim Hortons, so like I was like the only person in that school who didn't drink coffee or tea. Because everyone else would just go there and
You know,
line
I
up
feel
for
like
10 fucking minutes.
I wonder if that's just a strategic thing that they do because my high school was also like 2 minutes from a Tim Hortons.
Yeah. I think if nothing else, the teachers grabbing lunch, like that's money.
Yeah.
That's simply money.
God, they're going on a journey.
Yeah, there's a
Who are these
funicular.
guys?
We got Red Duck, who might have been the Poop Duck. We're not sure. Actually, you know what? I bet the Poop Duck was the one with
didn't talk about
bandages.
Poop Duck.
We didn't talk about Poop Duck while we were live. While we were just kind of like setting stuff up, a duck dropped in that had like a cloud of miasma around it. Like thick brown.
Yeah, the first thing we
Gunk?
noticed that it was darker and shiny, and we zoomed in and it started emitting noxious gases.
Oof.
And I think it either
particle
dissolved
effect.
or washed off.
Well, that's good.
I think that the whole
Mm-hmm.
thing dissolved.
I'm a
That one looks a little gross. That's not what the poop duck looked like, but there's
No,
I think
that's
that one's wood.
a sushi. Oh,
There's a sushi duck. I love the sushi duck.
yeah, I like the sushi duck. It looks like it's got a little pompadour.
Ooh, is that a shark
Yeah.
duck? I like the
It's a
shark,
shark duck.
Oh, there
Like
it goes.
Bob's
Ooh.
and yeah, it does shark stuff.
Wow.
Jack, what was your favorite high school drink? Where were you at?
So I think high school was when I really started drinking coffee. That we had like a absolutely terrible coffee machine, and I still didn't really like the taste of like an Americano or just like a straight coffee, but I would have like a latte or the grim approximation of a latte that this machine would make. Now that I look back on it, having drunk a lot of coffee, my impression is that this was mostly milk flavored slightly by whatever came through the coffee tubes. But that was, and I remember being in high school and kind of having a little bit of a thrill like, I'm drinking coffee.
I have a regional drink that I really liked in high school. Speaking of this, Jack, you reminded me of famous Rhode Island's famous coffee milk.
So here's the thing about Keith. I feel like you have an invisible clock that is ticking above your head, and when it hits 0, you introduce a baffling regionalism. We are all of us on the cast from places, and yet somehow only Keith finds genuinely obscure regionalisms to introduce to us.
I'm from the suburbs. That's not a place.
Yeah, fair enough. Tell us about coffee milk, Keith.
Coffee milk is great. So in the last century, I think, probably earlier than you'd expect, a company called Autocrat invented this weird syrup that was like, it's a coffee syrup made from instant coffee, water, and sugar. So you basically redissolve instant coffee with
Wait.
Yeah.
Doesn't like Nestle or someone also make this called like iced Java or something? It's like a coffee syrup you put in milk instead of chocolate syrup.
So I don't know about iced Java. Autocrat definitely invented this and not Nestle.
Yeah, no, they would have stolen it. I'm not saying they invented it.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know about this other thing. I don't know if it tastes the same. I don't know if that's like a coffee flavor. Autocrat has like a very specific flavor. And there are local variations of the Autocrat thing that like are like more like less sweet and more coffee flavored. But basically you just mix that with milk and it creates like a chocolate milk, but it's coffee milk. And it is a sweet milk drink that is like, the coffee version of chocolate milk, basically. It's delicious. Wow. It's really good. You can easily, there are better. I don't love Autocrat. You can also make this at home. The Autocrat's a little bit too sweet for me. But anyone can get some Autocrat. It's pretty easy to order online if you want to try it.
Do you recall what the Autocrat logo is?
Isn't it a little red bird?
It's a little proud red bird who stands on the Autocrat logo. Of course, coffee and birds, completely unrelated. I think if a bird
tyrants
ate coffee,
and birds.
Well,
I don't trust a company called Autocrat.
I mean, I don't know why they're called that, but they are. They are called Autocrat. It's just it's an old enough company that it's like from a time when someone could just be like, yes, I'm legitimately a fascist as my political party.
Or it could be that like they originally had some sort of like slogan that made it sense, like we lead our field, and it's like printed in like a Victorian like ladies magazine,
Ooh, Autocrat was established 1895 and began manufacturing coffee syrup in the 1930s. So that's about right, I think, for my timeline there.
Autocrat, that's his name, and that's where they got it from.
Yeah.
OTTO.
Oh. Yeah, that's not true.
No, it's not. I'm sorry. I just lied.
That's not true. Drinks Girlies is a truth zone.
Is it? I should go.
Zone.
No, that's true.
What other drinks do we have at the table right now? What do we got?
I am drinking, and I have nearly finished a mug of chamomile tea. To me, chamomile tea is the classic neutral warm drink.
Yeah, especially for an evening.
Yes, my favorite hot drink is coffee, and I'm sure we'll probably end up talking about coffee later. But if I just want like a comforting, warm drink to have something in my hands, or to have some liquid on the table while I'm recording something, a chamomile tea, absolutely the way to go for me.
There is oh, go ahead.
I just have a quick Autocrat update before we move off. I was looking at their pretty brief Wikipedia page, and at the very end, Autocrat and Coffee Connection collaborated to invent the Frappuccino in 1992.
Whoa.
And in 1994, Starbucks acquired all of the 23 Coffee Connection locations along with the trademark rights to the Frappuccino name.
Wow, interesting.
That's incredible.
Yep. And I'll say this, when I worked at Starbucks and we made Frappuccinos, the like coffee base that went in there was very similar to Autocrat coffee syrup.
And now you know.
Now you know.
Yeah.
A little bit of Rhode Island in all of us.
That's the slogan for the state, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
What are you drinking, Janine?
Oh, I was gonna bounce off of your chamomile tea thing and say that, like, you know, we have spent some holidays, you know, a few of us together, and it is like so much of what I associate with that time is like there is a certain part of the day where the coffee is always on. There's always coffee a brewing or coffee like ready that maybe needs a little bit of a reheat, but it's there. And then there is a period where it switches and everyone's on the chamomile tea.
Yeah.
It's very funny. It's very funny where that like
The mood
happens.
inexorably changes.
I learned that. No, go ahead.
I have a mug that I've owned for a long time, but I've only sort of recently really started to appreciate. It is a mug from the storied, high-end Target Room Essentials line, which I understand is Target's just straightforward own brand sort of furniture and home goods line. It is a pink mug. It is very large. It is very wide. It is good to make a big mug of a thing and just have it on my desk. And that's my chamomile tea update. Oh, I suppose I use tea bags rather than sort of like loose leaf tea. I like loose leaf tea as a treat, and I'm sure that, I don't know, I feel like as a tea expert, Keith probably has strong feelings about loose leaf versus tea bags. But I when I am in the evening and I need to have a chamomile tea quickly, a tea bag is the only way to go as far as I'm concerned.
Convenience.
I've never had. I'm a tea drinker, as in the plant that makes green tea and black tea and oolong tea. But I don't drink a lot of non-tea teas, like, you know, herbal teas, including chamomile.
Tea is in the verb.
Tea is in, yes, yeah. Well, you can tea anything. Only tea is tea, but you can make a tea out of anything. And so I don't really know what chamomile tastes like. I've had like some tea bags of it, like a couple of times.
Have you ever
It just
smelled
kind of
catnip?
Vaguely, yeah, kind of minty.
Well, I don't know that I'd call it minty, but whenever I drink chamomile, if I brew it too strong, it reminds me of catnip.
Okay.
And then, of course, you have to run around. Your eyes get very big. You rub your face on the floor.
Well, I you know, I'm one of those people who, like, catnip doesn't get to me, but Silvervine does. So,
Okay, sure.
yeah, never have the
I would
Silvervine
say
tea.
chamomile tastes like a yellow flower.
Interesting.
That doesn't sound great.
No, I'm not.
It's very
I'm not
mild.
sold either.
It's like
Okay.
it's like if you want to drink hot water but also want something a little bit medicinal and like soothing
Okay.
chemically, then I
You
think
put, like,
chamomile
honey in it, or
nice.
you just straight?
You can put.
chamomile?
I mean, you can do whatever you want. You can put
Okay.
honey in it. I like a little honey in my
There's a
chamomile.
folk remedy that chamomile tea is good for like eye infections. And I have like a very distinct memory of being a little kid and having a terrible eye infection that, like, you know, gummed my eye up so I couldn't open
Ew.
it.
Uh-huh.
And my mom like gently giving me like a little eye wash with some chamomile. And I assume it worked because it was just like, you know, warm, clean water that
Flushing the
solved
gunk
it.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I do associate chamomile tea not so much with eye illness, but with being taken care of by someone who looks after you.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Now, I'll say this quickly on the teabag loose leaf thing. Maybe it'll come up more, but I say that there's always ways to drink loose leaf tea in a way that is just as convenient as a tea bag, and usually also less expensive. Tea bags are like really expensive for the convenience, especially versus the quality of tea that you normally get. But you know, they make mugs with built-in strainers. Just throw some loose leaf at the bottom and drink through the strainer.
But then you got to
good.
clean the strainer, and the strainer's a.
It takes 1 second.
I'm like mostly a loose leaf in strainer person when I have tea now, but sometimes the bits get caught in the little strainer things, and you gotta like poke them out, and it bugs me. It does bug me.
I think that's a strainer issue.
I have so many strainers. I think the other part of it is that like I don't want to have to clean it immediately. So then it dries, and then it gets like, then it's harder to get out, and yeah.
What are you drinking, other people?
I have my winter evening go-to. I got into coffee when we got a super wasteful Tassimo machine like years ago. Because there was like there was one that was like, here's a little bit of coffee and then a thing of sweet milk that gets steamed and spat out into it. And it was very easy to get in the habit of having that for dessert. And over time, I've sort of broadened my coffee palate a little bit, and also realized that I shouldn't have coffee after dinner because I have sleep problems in general, and the caffeine doesn't help. The half-life of caffeine, I have learned, is 5 hours. So it takes 5 hours for half of the caffeine in your system to go away. The other half still remains. So if you have a coffee at, say, 7 p.m., you're fucked. So that's a roundabout way of saying a thing I got into is instant decaf espresso. And like a lot of people say instant coffee is shit. It's a lot about like which one you get and how you treat it. You should generally brew it with a slightly lower temperature of water, like hot but not like boiling, because it will make it more bitter. You want something that'll dissolve it but not, scorch it. So my like go-to winter evening drink is you get a little bit of the instant espresso. If you need a little bit of caffeine, you get one that has a caffeinated version. You can just add a little tiny bit of the caffeinated one in there. And then I put in some sweetened flavored oat milk of whatever sort is around, vanilla or caramel or whatever. Or plain and then vanilla syrup, whatever I've got. And then I give that a little blitz with one of those like wire battery powered whiskey things.
Oh yeah, those things are great.
Yeah, and then I add a little bit of the hot water just to help things dissolve a little bit more, and whisk it until it's like slightly foamy and has like the volume's increased a little bit but not too much. And then I top it up with hot water, and I'll either put, if it's not sweet enough, it's usually sweet enough, but I need sweet coffee. I'm still a little bit of a baby like that. I will use some brown sugar or maple syrup, or like sometimes I'll make simple syrup or a brown sugar cinnamon simple syrup and use that. And maybe some cinnamon on top if I'm feeling fancy.
That sounds great.
This is how I stopped spending a bunch of money at Starbucks, was becoming this person.
I did the same thing, but with like pour over coffee, like doing, fancy coffee, pour over, drinking it black, because it's just, sometimes I want coffee and it is so annoying to have to spend $6 on a coffee.
Yes,
to me,
totally.
And also I don't like any of that coffee. One thing is about me, one horrible thing about me is that I am a gigantomassive snob.
Yeah.
Gigantomassive, all one word.
Yeah.
Snob 1010%.
Yeah. So I'm like constantly trying to figure out, what's like the most delicious way to have this drink. What's the coffee that is like I'm not looking for I'm not looking for like best value. I'm looking for like the point of diminishing returns. What is the most I can spend on something where after that point it starts being like not worth it to keep going higher?
Right.
Which, like, you know, I think for coffee, your best value is probably like $12 or $14 for a bag, like a 12-ounce bag. But the point of no return, or the point of diminishing returns, is like $10 higher than that. It's like $24 a bag. And I just can't stop myself from living in that zone, especially for beverages, for tea, for coffee. So yeah, I deeply empathize with the I don't want to spend a bunch of money at the store when I can do something at home more delicious and cheaper, is like my whole life, I feel like.
Yes.
Yeah. We had a question in the chat, Keith, about if you have any Chemex thoughts.
You know, I've actually never used a Chemex. I've had Chemex coffee, but it's a very big object. I think it's a beautiful object, and I love the name of it. It's like a totally like mid-century name where it's like, why does this beautiful glass and wood coffee maker sound like a Forever Plastic? Like, and I think that's really funny. I think it adds. When I was choosing what to buy for a pour over machine, the thing that I read about Chemex was that the filter papers were thicker and the walls are sheer, so you a lot of times have issues with vacuum sealing the filter against the glass, which restricts your airflow, which clogs the water from dripping through properly.
Yeah.
And there's workarounds on this, but I was just like, you know, that thing is too big for where I make my coffee anyway. So I got a small flat-bottomed brewer, and then a different one that can kind of do the like classic Chemex or V60 cone shape. It also does flat bottom. I bought that one first and I didn't like it, so I switched to a dedicated flat bottom brewer. Called the Aurea is what it's called.
When I was trying to wean myself off of the Tassimo instant coffee pod thing, which for anyone who doesn't, Tassimo is like the equivalent of a, what the fuck's the other one called? With the little Keurig. You mostly see them in Canada and England for some reason. I don't know. But I got an AeroPress.
I love my AeroPress.
Yeah, it's a really good way to get a quick cup of coffee. My problem with it ended up being volume. I couldn't get enough in one press.
Yeah.
Like, it just felt like I was making a small, like a modest little cup, and I wanted like a big...
The guy who invented the AeroPress invented it to be a single person brewer. I can't remember his name. Johnny
AeroPress.
Johnny AeroPress.
Autocrat.
He also invented that fun summer frisbee, the Flowbee. No, not the Flowbee. The
Flowbee is the vacuum that cuts your hair.
Vacuum hair thing. Anyway, you'll recognize him if you see. He invented like a flying disc.
Hang on, Sylvia.
Non-frisbee frisbee.
Wait, and he also invented what?
And he also invented the AeroPress coffee maker. And he also invented like something for sailboats. He's just the guy that invents stuff.
This sounds like a classic guy.
He's a classic guy, yeah. And so he was frustrated with, it's the classic story. I was mad about something, so I invented a thing. But that's usually marketing bullshit. For this guy, I totally believe it because he was legitimately an inventor. He was like, I don't like making too much coffee. I want to make coffee one thing at a time. But the nice thing about AeroPress is that all of the coffee lunatics figured out other different ways of making coffee with it, and the main way for a long time that like they made like an AeroPress championship thing to go compete against people to make the best AeroPress coffee. Those people like to make concentrates, so they'll brew like 20 grams or 25 grams of coffee in the AeroPress and then water it down to be like 2 servings or something.
Yeah.
And that is a great way to make, 2-3 cups of coffee with the AeroPress.
Sylvie, you should check the stream real quick.
I'm looking.
Okay.
I'm like horrified.
What do you want to talk us through what's happening here, Janine, for viewers that might be listening
This is
to this
the
like a
Flowbee.
podcast?
The Flowbee, a man uses a Flowbee, an electrically powered vacuum cleaner attachment made for cutting hair.
Just fuck my shit
Astronauts
up.
aboard the Skylab space station cutting hair with scissors plus a vacuum cleaner to prevent hair particles from accumulating in the microgravity environment.
So the astronauts, I'll forgive. That they've got a reason.
There's
But
there's an interview with George Clooney where he claims to use that.
That makes sense. I hate him.
What, Sylvie?
Hate him. I don't hate him. He's a celebrity, so there's a level of disdain towards all of them.
Do you hate him more or less than you hate Tom Hanks?
It can't be more. It can't be.
No, it's not more. It's not more. I am a Tom Hanks hater. I'll
Why do
own
you?
that
Why do you?
one.
Sorry. Why do you hate George Clooney?
Oh.
I just reacted strongly to a rich guy doing a weird thing.
Okay,
is
that's
what
fair.
happened there.
Okay. The
Tom Hanks
word
we've covered.
the word I was looking for was aerobie, which I think you can see why I made the mistake. The
Whoops.
aerobie. Alan Alda invented the aerobie and then also the AeroPress.
I've got the
Oh, no, I
infomercial
don't
for
like
the
the
Flowbee
video.
on the muted, of course, but
This was so the reason I even had Flowbee in my head was this was a constant joke that my dad would make about like time to get your hair cut and I'm gonna break out the Flowbee and cut your
Did
hair.
he have a Flowbee?
No, he would just say it all the time, like the kind of joke that dads tell where it's
That's such a
it's
divorced
because
dad
it's a
joke.
lie. Yeah. And my dad was that. He was the most divorced guy I ever met.
Wow. And he
In
didn't even
quality
own a
and
Flowbee.
quantity.
Most divorced, sort of, if you took a titer, the
Yeah.
divorced would be extremely high, and also the amount of it.
Yeah.
Michael
Three
Jordan
divorces.
Oh,
Michael
wow.
Jordan of divorce. Oh, wow, three.
Three
You could
whole
get
ones.
more
Excessive.
divorced than that. Or do you
Yeah,
think it's sort of
but
like
few.
terminal velocity, where there's a sort of there's a sort of
Yeah, you
amount of
can't get
divorce.
divorced a fourth time. It's physically impossible.
You might do the paperwork, but it doesn't really count.
Right.
It's an
in quite
annulment
the same
that
way.
time.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
It's a 3 strikes rule. It's like, no, we annul this one. You're not
Yeah.
trusted anymore.
I will say there are 2 ducks in the pond right now who delight me. The first is the disco ball duck, who spent an early part of the stream just looking like a sort of checkerboard duck and has now revealed himself to be a disco ball. The second is a very shiny sort of Christmas bauble red duck that I think is in the bottom right now, and you can't really see how shiny he is because
let's tab through
he's
them. It's
not
been a
in
little
the
while.
light.
Let's see if we can. Why can't I tab through? Okay. Let me tab. Whoa.
Okay, what do we got? We have
Burglar
duck
ice
frozen
duck.
in- Okay.
Really specific.
I like that.
Is that
Yeah.
burglar? Or is
I don't know,
it
he's
I
got
think
like
he's
a-
sleeping. I think he's got a sleep mask
Oh.
on.
it's more like a sleep mask? Yeah.
He could be a
It's a-
sleeping burglar, Keith.
Yeah, that's true.
Just like a completely dark duck.
No, this is the shiny red duck who is about to get menaced by this shark. He's just not shiny right now because he's in shadow.
Oh.
Were this duck to be in the light, we would see how beautiful he is.
Wow. Really dramatic shot right now.
Oh, you can see that he's about to become shiny.
He's got beauty in his heart.
I
Chat's
think we're
correctly.
still just playing the commercial up in the corner there.
Yes. Most
But
people in
this is vaporwave.
a lot of people in chat are pointing out that most infomercial products have are often for people who have accessibility needs and things like that. That's 100% true. Just, and also has been pointed out, they never have those people in the ads. It's always just like weirdos.
Well, I
But
think
Flowbee to me is a very, in particular, a very like 80s, 90s, like your mom cuts your bangs on the bathroom counter kind of product.
Yeah.
this is the thing about like I think that people who like need specialty products for disabilities are pretty good about like finding out like where those products are and how to get them, sharing them with people. I think the people that are inventing them are just weirdo inventors. Like I've never gotten the vibe from anyone I've ever known that's like an inventor of these kinds of products that they're doing it for that specific audience. It's just like, what if you could open a thing with a thing?
Remember that
What if you
episode
could
of
vacuum
the
your hair?
the episode of The Simpsons where Homer invents the makeup shotgun, where you shoot someone in the face and it gives them
Yeah.
makeup.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
I always think of the drape runners in Twin Peaks. The Nadine trying to
right,
make the silent
yes.
drape runners.
That's so deeply sad.
Yeah.
This guy reminds me of
Twin
Pete
Peaks, deeply
Buttigieg.
sad.
Which guy? Oh, the guy.
Floby
Floby
guy.
advert, not
The
the
Floby
duck.
guy.
Pete Buttigieg would use a Floby for his hair. He looks
Yeah.
like he does.
So-
It feels like somebody used a Floby on his personality.
Yeah, he's sort
Yeah.
of the Flobeat man.
So we have.
Oh, is this the? This is
This
it.
is
Wow.
Wow.
Whoa.
Delicious
Beautiful.
grapefruit ruby
Whoa.
red.
It
No,
moved
no,
me.
I want to see him again.
I have to tab through all
That
of
duck
them.
tastes like a cherry lozenge.
Whoa.
Oh no,
Whoa.
it's a nicer color than I thought.
I used to have a Hot
I
Wheels
like the
car that
matte
looked
red
like
one,
this.
the like fire engine red, the candy apple red.
Oh,
Maybe.
got the 8-ball joining
That's
us.
the 8-ball
Oh,
duck.
Oh.
Being
Full
chased by
car.
the Zamboni. Down we go. Now, the thing about this cable car is that when it reaches its destination, the bottom of the cable car opens like a saw trap and drops all the ducks down into the pool. This would not be pleasant for me. I don't know. Maybe ducks like to drop from a height.
Well,
into
you
a
aren't-
body of water.
Your body is not made in such a way where your lower portion is perfectly buoyant and you will land stably and safely no matter what.
Yeah. Although to be fair, this is like a medium high dive. That's like a public pool diving.
Whoa.
Whoa. Whoa. Hot dang. It's high school Sylvie with an axe.
Yeah. No, that's just high school me.
Okay, sure. Okay. Past the ice burglar.
Got the wooden one here. A friend and favorite.
That's the red one that I like. The one behind the wooden one.
Sushi duck.
Sushi duck,
Rock duck.
rock duck,
Shark duck.
shark duck.
Disco duck.
Disco ball duck.
Disc
Yes, Sylvie?
Yeah.
Disco duck was a thing in the early 2000s in the slowly dying wrestling promotion WCW, where a
Oh, yeah.
man named the Disco Inferno had a duck that he called the Disco Duck, and famously a big muscular man named Scott Steiner bashed it with a baseball bat. while
Oh my
swinging.
God.
Oh,
That's also.
evil.
Is
Not
that
a real
before or
duck.
after the song Disco Duck?
I don't know. I didn't realize that was a song. This
Yeah,
is the sort of
there's-
brain worms that I have.
was a ba-
Not
it's
a
a bad
real
song.
duck, everybody, like a plastic one.
Okay. Matte black
Yeah.
duck. Well, no,
Wow.
actually, slightly shiny black duck.
8-ball
Eight-ball.
duck.
Oh, my beautiful,
Oh, is that the?
gorgeous Christmas bauble duck.
Beautiful.
That duck looks like it has so much mass. Like it's heavy because of the coloring they've given it.
Because of its majesty. This
Yeah.
duck looks like a duck that has gone in the pool. This is a representation of both the duck and the pool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a duck with a piece of pizza on its head. This
What?
is a duck with a plant
Oh.
on its head.
Oh, that one's really cute.
This one is like a Pikmin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pizza duck.
Pizza duck.
Keith, I thought you were going to say it was a pick-me. This duck is like a pick-me.
This duck is such a pick-me.
Okay. Pick-me duck. I love pizza duck. Although the
I like the
cheese
bits of
dribble is a
melty
little
cheese.
weird.
No, I think that's so
Oh.
cute. It has such a like Ninja Turtles pizza vibe when they
It just feels like
pull
it's
it.
mayonnaise. to me.
Yeah, I guess.
Man,
I mean, this one works because there's like a pull on it, but this one's just like a drooble.
That one's a little, yeah.
Next.
I think
Why are
bet
we?
that was the
What's
duck style
happening?
duck.
Okay.
Oh, did we just go down a waterfall? Where are we? Are
I
we
think
in hell?
I think
What
we're
is-
clipped through
We're
a
in
rock
hell.
right now.
Oh, I see.
Whoa! That duck just got run over.
No, it's getting scooped. It's just getting scooped.
getting-
It's
Oh,
fine.
Okay.
Wait, no, where is it?
It got scooped. That's how they get to the funicular, I think. Whoa.
Good
What
funicular.
the fuck?
They
Have-
get
are we
isekai
still
to the
doing-
funicular.
Huge ice duck. Look
It's a woolly mammoth duck under the ice.
Whee!
Oh, okay.
okay.
This is where the hole is. I didn't realize.
So, Keith, people are dying to hear you talk about pu'er.
Okay, I'm drinking some right now.
Let's start from the very beginning.
Yeah.
The very best place to start.
Yeah.
What is pu'er?
Pu'er is a kind of tea that is similar to green tea in the way that it's processed, except when you make green tea, you do a heating phase called a kill green, where you bring the tea up to a certain temperature to stop the enzymatic processes that will oxidize that tea. The oxidation process is what will turn a green tea into an oolong tea and then eventually a black tea. And so instead of fully kill greening it, you'll just get most of the way there. And so what ends up happening is that it very slowly oxidizes over a period of years. And
Just sort of naturally.
just sort of naturally, slowly changes its taste. It, if you can imagine, the very fresh green tea pu'er tea, very fresh pu'er tea is like astringent and bitter and intense and green and vegetal and floral, and it can be sweet, but it's like very fresh tasting. And then maybe 15-year-old pu'er tea tastes like, the woods. Like it's very dark tasting and mellow, and instead of like flowers, it tastes like, how like the woods smell on a wet day, or like
Ooh.
Okay.
and the reason that pu'er tea is popular is like a wickedly complicated cultural and political process. But
That's tea. That's the history of tea.
yes,
that is a good point.
It is a much more recent political process than the other parts of tea. It is like the current ground on which like tea is changing over the past 40 years has been the pu'er ground. But it has become very popular and has become the sort of tea du jour for people in China who are looking to drink like interesting teas, and then also exporting that to the West to people who are like into loose leaf tea and into interesting different kinds of tea. You'll stumble upon pu'er tea. There's two main kinds. There's basically it's ripe and raw. Ripe is essentially every term I'm going to throw out has like 4 different names. But I'm just using the ones I think are easiest to remember and most descriptive to English speakers. They essentially, through a process not dissimilar to composting, artificially age the tea in a big wet pile, so that it sort of tastes like, after 6 months or a year, what a 20-year-old pu'er tea might taste like. Versus raw pu'er tea, which can be young and intense and fresh, like I described, or aged for a period of however long you want, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, whatever. I'm drinking I think a year or two old raw pu'er right now.
Does the
It's
cost
really good.
of it what is the primary factor that affects the cost? Is it the amount of time that it has been aged or gone through this
That is a
composting
huge
progress?
component of the cost.
Yeah.
It's the component of the cost. It's the like size / location of the material that was used to make it. So like there's a super rich guy this is just an example of one way that tea can become expensive. There's a really rich guy that essentially bought all of the tea growing areas in a place called Naka in China, based on really liking the tea from there, and has like ginned up from nothing and in a fervor for this particular area, to the point where now there's like, 4 or 5 times as much tea being sold as tea being grown, if you know what I mean.
Do you think he actually liked it, or just saw the opportunity and was like, I'm going to say that I really like this tea, and then people will start really liking this tea?
The tea's really good. The tea from there is really good.
Okay.
So it's hard to know. I think that it is such a unique case, and such an obvious case, that I think that it probably is more likely that this guy just happened to have an interest in tea and the means to do this, and liked this tea and thought it was marketable.
Sure, yeah.
But it is just to illustrate that, like, you can get granular to the village level with tea that you're buying, and when you do that, it's because the village or someone else thinks that village is worth something, and then they'll try to sell you the village. It's similar to wine, where the more get in, the more you get, the more granular you get with, like, okay, it's a red blend, okay, it's an Italian red blend, okay, it's this specific region, okay, it's this, like, protected. There's no actual protections on this in China, but for wine, there's tons of laws about, like, what you can say about where your tea is from or where your wine is from. And, like, you can get down to, like, okay, it's this vineyard in this region, grown in this way, and we have a stamp that says that that's what it is. You can do the same thing with tea, except that there's no laws telling you what you can and can't say.
Do people lie?
Oh, yeah. That's why there's 4 times as much Naka tea being sold as there is being grown. Probably even more than that.
Wow.
Is because you can, and there's a lot of ways that tea can get faked. One of the ways is that Naka goes, oh my God, there is so many people looking to buy our tea. Hey, everyone around us, we will
just
pay
say
you.
You're Naka now.
We'll pay you 4 times as much for your tea that you can get on the open market, to give us your tea so that we can mix it in with our tea. And then another way would just be, like, the village just writes Naka on their thing, even if it's not true.
Right.
Those are or they'll sell it cheaply to a guy that knows, hey, this village has tea that is, like, it's just an arbitrary border between these 2 places. Let me buy it for the dirt cheap prices and then write this other more expensive place on the package and sell it. There's lots of ways that it happens. Generally, fake tea is, if not appropriately priced, there's not a lot of outright scamming going on. It's more like, I've got a really great deal on this Naka tea, and then you go, like, yeah, I'm sure you do. It's 1/4 the cost of what it normally would. That's a good enough deal for some fake stuff. If it's good, it's good.
Whoa.
Man.
Whoa.
Is
that a toilet?
No.
Oh, it's a
mocha pot, Keith.
It is.
Oh,
wow, look at
that's
that.
so funny.
I did think it was a bidet.
Oh.
Mocha pots are
That's
fun.
very cute.
I have one. I don't really use it unless normal coffee making means are broken and inaccessible for some reason. But
they're finicky.
Yeah, they're finicky, but they are fun.
Yeah.
How do I close its head?
I don't know. I think that when he's done, he'll just close it. Yeah, there he goes. Look at the texture on the knob
and the slight color to its sheen. Like there's sort of a bluish, yellowy.
He's got a patina.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my quick and dirty poor explainer.
I thought it was a good explainer.
It is. Yeah, I've been curious about, like, how it is different. and that does kind of.
Yeah, it's different in the same way that like oolong tea is different. Like it's just a different way of processing it.
I've also heard there's a lot of like interesting variation in the flavors. I sort of got like a nutshell summary from friend of the pod Everest Pipkin a few months ago. Of like, some of them are like kind of nutty and some of them are more like sort of, I don't know. It seemed interesting. I haven't like gotten into it in that way, but it seems neat.
There's like a few. So the reason it's called Pu'er is because this is again, everything that someone can say about Pu'er is like couched in 10, 15 qualifications and hundreds of years of things changing. But it is like, it's a region, and tea that's grown from the Pu'er region is Pu'er. The name was changed and then it was sort of changed back, but not really. And it's a pretty big region, and the main mountains where it's grown tend to have like different flavor profiles. Like famously, like Jingmai is like really floral. So if you're like you want a really perfumey, and they have Pu'er has heavy aftertaste also. So you'll be drinking it, and you have this really long, intense aftertaste. And Jingmai is like famous for really floral, really perfumey flavor, and then a really long, powerful aftertaste of like sweet flowers.
Is this why you get to that thing of like, if you're drinking really good tea, you're throwing out the first steep because it's not the best one? Like you're pouring it into the thing?
That's part of it. So there's like, a lot of them come in compressed cakes of tea. So it'll be like a disc of 200 or 400 grams of tea that you break apart. And so you'll get a lot of like little bits of tea. It sort of looks like what you would get in a tea bag. And those extract really quickly, and they tend to be really astringent. And so people will like do a quick brew, just like pour the water in, pour it out right away. It gets rid of some of that stuff. There's kind of a myth that it like gets rid of like any like dust or contaminants that might be on your tea. Tea is pretty clean, and the boiling water is going to get rid of anything anyway. But it is more about getting rid of the chaff. And then the other thing that it does is it sort of, the tea's like, it's dry. So it sort of gets it ready to be steeped. It sort of like opens it up slightly. And those first like second or two of flavors are not very good. Because you've got the dry leaf that's not ready to really be extracted, and then mixed with the powder that will like over extract, because they're so small and brittle. And so it's just a way to get rid of those two competing and not necessarily ideal flavors. And different tea, you'll want to do that, like, really tightly ball rolled tea, like a ball rolled oolong or something. Maybe you'll wait a little bit longer to get it to open up more, because it can't really get at the tea. It's just like kind of,
sorry, I think this switched into a Flowbee review, and I don't care about that. Yeah, full review and how to use it. Best haircut every time.
I doubt that.
Same haircut every time.
That I believe.
I just want to clock in to say that I have spent the last 5 minutes trying to get Virginia to come sit on my lap while I'm recording, and she is here.
Oh.
Hi, Virginia.
What's Virginia's favorite drink?
Virginia loves water. She drinks water out of a novelty mug that says "Do not worry, be happy" on it. And that mug sits underneath the coffee table. She had a water bowl, and she refused to drink out of the water bowl and only liked to drink out of her "Do not worry, be happy" mug that sits under the coffee table. That is her favorite drink, and that is all she drinks. Sometimes she drinks a little too much. She'll have a lot of food, and then we'll go and plep silently at her novelty mug for what feels like far too long, and then throw up because she drank too much.
Oh.
But that is kitty cats as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, exactly. Let me turn off.
Maybe you need to split the difference with a mug that she likes almost as much.
that is moved closer, or oh, you mean to encourage her to drink out of it less?
Right, because it's like, oh, I still like this. It's not as good as my B
Right, like a
mug.
teacup.
Yeah.
If I let's see, is she purring? Very, very quietly, too quietly for me to pick up on the microphone, unfortunately. But because she's sitting on my lap and I can't sit properly at my desk, I have taken my mic out of its mic arm and I'm now holding it like I'm a reality TV show host.
Oh, wonderful.
Or a quiz show host, yeah.
You
Feel
should
very-
get like one of the
very
long Bob
fancy.
Barker ones.
Oh God!
Oh,
Why
yeah.
did they? Why do people not do that anymore? The proliferation of lav mics.
I think it's that, and
I think it's very quintessentially like game show host where you have to walk up to the person and put the microphone in their face. Putting the microphone on a long stick is beneficial because you don't have to like get too
that
close.
makes sense. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's great. His whole affect with that microphone is wonderful. It becomes like a magician's wand in his hands or whatever. I'm a big Bob Barker long stick microphone aficionado.
Yeah, I've never really seen The Price is Right.
Same.
Oh no.
I like know it from culture, but I've never watched an episode.
Yeah,
That's-
I've seen like a handful of minutes.
I wonder if this is a generational thing. Price is Right to me is like a quintessential like you are homesick from school.
That's Family Feud for me.
Ah, okay, that's the difference.
Also a
Yeah.
good show. The Price
Yeah.
is Right is The Price is Right is really fascinating because they released episodes, and I think still do, almost every day, and have done so since 1647. And so you get to see this. So it's a game about, guessing the value of a product. So you get to see American capitalism go to work on products
Yeah.
over a massive timescale.
Not just
And
price shifts,
also-
but like what products are desirable, what people are excited about, what the baselines for like what you're getting at the store are.
And then you also just get to see an astonishing array of products that you have never heard of in your damn life. There is a period in the 90s and early 2000s where they get really into tech on The Price is Right, and that is really fun. Where they'll sell, like an Xbox or a PlayStation, and nobody has any idea how much it costs because they
Oh yeah,
haven't
the
been around for very
iPad, the
long.
early iPad. When people are bidding on those, like they have no idea. It's a disparity of like people are saying like $200, people are saying like 150. Like it's
Someone
know.
in chat asked if, Keith, you have a tea pet. Could you say
Oh.
whether or not you do, and could you talk a bit about what tea pets are?
Sure. So this is like again, this is one of these things that sort of dips in and out of the culture around the style of brewing tea in little pots and in gaiwans and small amounts and re-steeping, 5-10 times, where there's like this little fun ritual of pouring that first steep that we talked about that you don't really drink because it's not very good, onto a little guy that you keep with you. A lot of people have trays that like have drains because you're constantly, there's like lots of water going on. It's hot water. You're maybe warming up your brewing vessel before you even put the tea in, and then dumping that hot water out, and then you're dumping out the hot water from the first steep. So you have like a tray or a table with a tray underneath to catch all this water. And so instead of just pouring it down into the tray, you'll pour it on a little guy. And that's called a tea pet. And so you'll have like a little clay figure of, a man who's fishing, or an ox, or, whatever, just like a bunch of different things. And it's become a thing that people can get interested in and having like a little collection of. And when I first started drinking tea, I had one that was like a water buffalo. And when he broke, I didn't hurry to replace him because I had started to
resent him.
I had started to resent him. Felt like I could no longer trust him and his ilk.
No longer look him in the eye after what he did to you. After the incident, things were just different.
So I had I had really just I can't talk about this. I have to highly
It's true.
edit
It's
before
emotional.
go
I
too
know. I
long.
understand.
But basically I had really started to find a lot of value in making things really convenient for myself, sort of like or ritualizing it, and like making the way that this tea works as like practical as I can without sacrificing the quality of it. So having a smaller tray, having fewer accoutrements,
That makes sense.
and so I pared things down. I used to use a strainer. I don't use a strainer anymore. I just let the little bits of tea get in there. I don't care. They don't hurt you. They don't even taste weird. You just drink them down. Who cares? And one of those things was not getting a new tea pet when mine broke. I actually do have two now. I have one that's a little rat, very cute little like white and brown rat, that is sort of, unlike my first one, is the sort of classic unglazed clay, so it sort of takes on the color of the, it sort of patinas with the tea. And then I have just sort of like a geometric prism, like a red little cube that I actually always have on my desk that I play with during recordings, like all the time.
Eater.
Yeah.
Do they
Tea cube.
Do they
Normal.
drink the tea? Do they like it? Oh, his flower came out.
His flower.
Oh my god,
that's cute.
Oh, this is
What
I'm
a
so
game.
happy right now.
That's great. I wish we had seen it come.
Yeah.
That's part of the delight of the ducks, though, is suddenly
Finding them
cutting to a duck.
in a new state.
Yeah, finding the ducks in a new state. There is a horror game that went viral on Steam for a long time, and it's one of those games that is like really, really mega popular, but you never see anybody talking about on like games blogs.
Yeah.
And it is called something like Observation Duty. And there are like 4 or 5 sequels for it. And the premise of Observation Duty is that you are flipping through a series of security cameras in a house and trying to spot changes. And I think that they could very easily have made this a sort of Five Nights at Freddy's jump scare. Whoa! A beautiful parrot. They could have made this a very nice Five Nights at Freddy's sort of jump scare game where you pop back and something jumps out at you. And that happens sometimes, but more often it plays very much like the experience of playing this duck game, where you will tab over to a room and be like, oh my god, the fridge is now open, or like all the paintings on the wall have changed, or whatever. That is the vibe of this to me. Imagine if one of these ducks just got up and started walking around.
No, I refuse.
What if it looked at the
that.
camera and started saying things?
What would it say? It would say, here's what the duck would say.
Oh.
Oh, he speaks. Janine, do you have a make the duck speak button?
Yeah.
Well, hang on. Why haven't we been hearing them speak?
Yeah,
I know. I'm going through it now.
this is a
Classic
game
duck.
changer.
Classic.
Classic. The stone goes. That's not.
This one sounds a little more Canadian. I don't know.
Look at the way this one has
Yeah, I
a
like
fabric
it.
shader on it.
It looks soft. Yeah.
Oh.
Do some of them
Okay.
say nothing?
No, they all say something.
This sounds like a man doing a duck's voice.
It is.
Oh, did I
yeah,
accidentally
yeah, it
mute
must
you?
be.
That.
I accidentally muted it. That's why.
Oh.
Got a lot of normal ducks in a row.
That's pretty good.
Oh, doing the little Jaws joke.
Comedy.
Oh. Uh-huh. Yep. It's about what I thought would happen.
Nice bass.
Okay. Oh, he's so beautiful.
This one. I don't think
Makes
this one
the sound
makes
of a
a.
helicopter.
Yeah.
Maybe when his mouth is open, he can make a noise.
Maybe. Can he click his button, or do I have to click his?
he's
There we
even-
go. I can click his button. He doesn't make a sound though.
Oh, that's sad. It would be very funny if he didn't make a sound unless his thing was open.
And then he went like,
Yeah.
It's like filled with coffee.
I like a market pot. In the last place I lived, we had one of those stoves that a market pot doesn't work with, and I got like a induction stove market pot special thing, which didn't have the cool shape, which I feel was a real letdown. If you're gonna get a market pot, it should have that kind of like angular.
Yeah, the like
shape.
octagonal.
Yeah, most of them do. I like a mocha. That was probably the first thing that I ever like made coffee that I liked in. Was a mocha pot.
We have a
My
round one, and I
parents
don't
used
like
to-
it. It makes it feel like a camping thing, you know?
Oh yeah, this is the one that I'm talking about, right, Janine? The
Yeah.
like smooth mocha pot smooth edition.
Yeah, don't like.
Now,
I don't like it.
50% less lines.
Yeah. Oh, this is the advert for the mocha pot.
Yeah.
Now you'll look at it and feel kind of alienated. I would like to tell you about what I had to drink at the Ann Arbor
Yes.
Kindle Fest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will say, after that, I want to hear about Sylvie's favorite winter drinks.
Did
But I
Sylvie
also
say
want to
what
give.
she was
I want to.
drinking?
I'm drinking water because all
Yeah.
my warm drinks are caffeinated, and
I wanted to give you time to
made the mistake
think,
yesterday.
to percolate
Thank you.
on
Thank you.
winter
Oh,
drink
percolate.
thoughts.
Fitting word.
Before I hear about what drinks you had, Jack, can you say what it even is? You said what it isn't, which is a candle festival.
It is essentially a nighttime holiday-themed farmers market. With like local food produce, local sort of goods and trinkets produce, and then in the sort of indoor farmers market that is next to the Ann Arbor Farmers Market, there is just it's really cool. It's this sort of small-ish two-story building that has been absolutely crammed, sort of Tetris style, with disparate shops. There is a kitchen shop there that is always bumping. There is a toy shop. There is a bougie, gentrified clothes and essential oils shop. There is a butcher's shop. And they're all just like crammed together inside this tiny multi-story building. It's a very good vibe. And so Kindlefest had sort of spilled out from the farmers market and into this sort of indoor farmers market where there were more events taking place. The first thing that I got was some Glühwein, which is German mulled wine. It was lovely. It was a little sweet. It was served out of one of those like coffee canteens where you push the thing down and coffee comes out, except mulled wine came out instead.
Have you ever
Ooh.
been there when someone's made mulled wine?
I have made mulled wine in my kitchen. Does that count?
Yeah. My sister made mulled wine once, and it was very nice. It's good homemade.
It's a good experience. And the nice thing about mulled wine
It makes everything
is
smell great.
it makes
Yeah.
everything smell great, and you can make it comparative. Baby ducks.
Oh, baby ducks.
You can make it comparatively cheaply because you do not need good wine to make mulled wine. You can go to the shop and get
Yes. And in fact, maybe you shouldn't use good wine to make mulled wine.
Yes, you should get
Drink the good
some
wine.
straight garbage, only mids.
Yeah.
And then you should get some cinnamon. You should get some cloves. You should get some oranges. And you should cut them all up, put them in a big pot, turn the pot on. And you're sort of playing a game of chicken because you want it to be all nice and flavored and soaked through and kind of infused. But unless this is something that you're specifically trying to do, you also don't want to just cook all the alcohol off the wine completely. And
You want it to be wine tea.
you want it to be wine tea. And I like mulled wine a lot. I have it in the winter seasons. Our next door neighbor gave us a little tiny mulled wine pack that we're excited to use. I had forgotten what Glühwein was, but knew that it was something that I liked. And so when they were advertising Glühwein, I was like, oh, hell yeah, Glühwein. And I thought it was going to be. Don't tell me why I thought this was a good idea. Hot spiced beer.
Okay.
Is what I
What
thought
is
it
it?
was going to be. It's mulled wine.
Oh, okay.
That's why it's got wine in it. In the name?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. I didn't sort of really figure that bit out. And so when she pushed the plunger on the thing and mulled wine came out, I had a real like, oh right, it's mulled wine moment. That was
Probably
good.
mulled beer, right?
What
What would happen if you did mulled wine but beer? Would that be? How would that be?
there I think it would, I don't know. So there's definitely like orangey beers and there's definitely like clovey beers.
Yeah.
I do want to just to shout out to beer naming conventions. There is a beer style called barley wine, so you can get something that's called wine that is beer for sure.
Basil LaPlante in the chat says, I have drank a microwaved hot beer. I have drank
Oh, that
microwaved
sounds
hot
like a
beer
terrible
before,
experience.
and it was
That
terrible.
sounds like drinking bile.
Why look, some members of this chat recently had an opportunity to microwave a hot carbonated drink, and they chickened out of it.
I didn't even. I don't. Hold on a minute.
Would you believe I have
don't
something
even
queued
have
up
a
that's
Monster Energy
relevant?
drink. No, my girlfriend told me I should heat up a Monster for this stream, and then I said no. And then Jack called me a coward for not wanting to drink a hot Monster Energy drink.
Yeah.
I want to have a hot
I
Monster.
can see that.
Not like that.
There is not much. There are exceptions, but there are not many food or drinks that I wouldn't try once, because, as James Acaster memorably said on Taskmaster, it would make good television. It probably wouldn't be good, but then I would have had the experience. Next, at the Ann Arbor Kindle Fest, we had some free Mexican hot chocolate. It was good,
delicious.
but I have to imagine because it was free, it was primarily made with water. I know some folks like water-based hot chocolate. I am not one of them.
Nah.
But it was
That's
it
the
was,
traditional Mexican hot chocolate as well.
Yeah, it was fine. It was okay.
I make mine with milk. It's delicious. It's unbelievable.
I'm a big hot chocolate in the winter person. I got some really good spiced hot chocolate recently from in DC. That was lovely. But right now I am drinking essentially just complete bottom of the barrel garbage tier hot chocolate, and it's still excellent.
Do you guys know Rancho Gordo?
Of the beans?
Of the beans?
I do know Rancho Gordo. Of the
They sell an unbelievable hot chocolate.
beans?
No, the bean place. It's hot chocolate normal style. Well, it's Mexican hot chocolate, but it's the best hot chocolate I've had. It's really, really good. Highly
This
recommend.
looks great. Yeah, I'm looking at pictures of it now.
I keep a box of this all year.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Next, we went inside the farmer's market, and there was a table that had free. It was an unattended table. It had a free cheese board, and then free apple cider. And then Kat and I saw rows of what looked like glasses of champagne, and we went, that cannot be that. It's got to be grape juice or whatever. And it turned out that it was champagne, unattended, and it was being run by two ladies from the beauty store nearby who had already had a lot of their own champagne. And were now,
Hell yeah, they did.
and we're now, I think,
That's really funny.
throwing real caution to the wind, just being like, free champagne here. So I had a glass of free champagne. The experience of walking up to essentially a Costco free sample stand and just picking unattended and picking up a glass of champagne was odd, and I recommend it. That was good. Then they were selling a deal on oysters, which are a kind of drink.
What?
And no, it's a little ocean sip.
Yeah, exactly. An oyster is sort of like a shot of
Slime.
ocean.
Of sea snot.
Slime shot. Yeah.
Snot
You don't
shot.
like oysters, Janine?
I refuse to try them, to be honest.
I
Oysters,
love
Sylvie?
oysters. Oh my goodness.
I probably have not tried them for the same reason.
I
this did
can't.
not happen.
Here's the thing. I can't eat sushi because it is a cold, damp, smooth, like weird thing. I've
say
gagged on
this.
sushi before purely texturally. I don't get to the taste part, so I know for a fact I would not be able to get an oyster down, no matter how hard I tried. My body would reject it.
I'm going to, and you could never try an oyster for your whole life. It's fine. But I will say, number one, you have it you basically swallow it. There's almost no, there's almost no texture at all to it. It really is sort of like having a slightly thick saltwater sip. It's like there's no fish flavor. It's
Then
really
why
like
would I do it?
because it's nice.
That's a
it just
compelling
is nice.
question, but it is nice.
It's
the
really
experience
nice.
of it is nice as well. They look like little rocks that have a treat inside.
Yeah.
And they're on.
No, the
plate
treat
of
is
ice.
slime. The treat is wet
Treat.
sea meat.
Now, hold on. Slime can be a treat. Hold on. I'm going back and forth here.
So it goes well with little toppings. So you get like a nice little, like you put some shallots on there, you put some lemon juice. It's good. It's 5% flavor, 95% salt water, and the other flavors you can add to it, hot sauce, they complement that 5% in a nice way. It spends half a second in your mouth and it's down.
So I had some oysters, and I do contend that is a drink. Then I went into the fancy olive oil and vinegar store, where they just had hundreds of tiny little shot glasses, and you could sample any oil or vinegar that you wanted.
Ugh.
So you could sample any what that you wanted?
Oil or vinegar.
That sounds great.
I took damage from that. Sorry.
That sounds phenomenal to me. This is exactly what I want.
Drinking vinegar?
Hell yeah, drinking vinegar.
Not a lot of it.
Well,
Yeah,
I'll drink
the
a
taste,
little I'll drink a little malt. Like if I have malt vinegar left in the packet, I'll drink about half a packet of malt vinegar before I think better of it.
I want
Yucky.
10 different I want like half an ounce of like 5 different olive oils to try.
Oh man, I'd die.
I had some basil olive oil. I had some sherry vinegar. I had some, I had some butter olive oil, which was foul. And then I had,
It seems like defeats
Some
the
other one.
purpose.
it wasn't pleasant, but the other ones were, and the thought of bringing to the Drinks Girlies stream, I drank oil. I went in the farmer's market and drank oil. Seems like a good sort of winter.
That is very
addition.
funny. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
that is
oil
good.
drinking season.
Copperpots in the chat asks, you hit up Zingerman's while you were down there, Jack? The sandwiches are out of this world. Okay, so for non-Ann Arborites, Zingerman's Deli is a essentially mafia operation deli that runs this city. They
my
are not
God.
an actual mafia.
Okay.
No,
I was going to... Because
Sorry,
I have friends who have
Right.
accidentally walked into fronts before.
very disappointing.
And being from Rhode Island, it's essentially all you get down here.
No, what I mean to say is it is instead what started out as a deli, a very good, sort of well-appointed deli, that branched out so ruthlessly and so with such high quality that they have come to essentially run a lot of the food in the city. For better and for worse, and mostly for better. So there is...
Got to be careful.
Zingerman's-
That's when things start to go to shit. Once you've got 10, 15, 20 locations, you go, hey, we don't even have to make good sandwiches anymore because we're the only ones selling sandwiches in here.
My experience of Zingerman's is that they have a lot of locations and they are still great. Copperpot says it's a Jewish deli that runs the economy of Ann Arbor. It's there is Zingerman's Deli, which is a large-scale deli that is frequented by... So Ann Arbor is a college town, and it is just constantly bumping. Students in Zingerman's Deli getting sandwiches, getting cheese, getting fresh meat all the time. Then there is a bakery for bread. Then there is a cafe and cake shop. Then they branched out into Korean food with a location called Mrs. Kim's. Then there is Zingerman's Roadhouse, which is a sort of like dinner joint. I'm trying to see if I can remember any other Zingerman's joints, but they
This
really
is
are.
reminding me of the Milton, Massachusetts version of this. Mr. Chan's, Chinese restaurant, and then he opened up another Chinese restaurant down the street, and then opened up a pizza place, a Mexican restaurant, and an ice cream parlor, like all in the same block.
Yes, this is absolutely the sensation at Zingerman's. In fact, I went to Zingerman's today and I bought an advent calendar and a tuna sandwich.
Don't mix those up.
No, do not mix those up. I wish that
Just
I could
taking
find...
a big bite straight out of an advent calendar.
Ugh.
I'm taking a small bite out of a sandwich one day for 25 days in a row.
Yeah. I wish I could find a full list of Zingerman's joints, but I can't. But you will just bump into them in Ann Arbor all the time. It's good food. It's a little pricey, but not excessively pricey. It's a good time. Kaylee Rowena says, are there sandwiches in the advent calendar, Jack? No, there is Mexican spiced chocolate, which I am excited about. Little candies. That is going to be nice. Albedo12 says, I ate a calendar once. It tasted of dates.
Boo.
Whoa.
Boo.
I loved it.
For the benefit of people in the Discord call, I have been running on loop a what's the year on this? Let me find the year. A 1968 Dick Clark commercial where he's advertising how you can drink Dr. Pepper cold or you can heat it up in a pot with lemon. So it's just been
see this.
it's just been Dick
by the
Clark
way-
looping drinking Dr. Pepper and then boiling it and serving it to ladies.
By the way, mulled beer is a thing. I did look it up earlier.
Well, that makes sense. You can mull anything, really.
Lots of New England recipes about like heating up beer and like putting a bunch of apples in it.
Oh.
Huh. Interesting. It's all go in New England as far as I can tell.
Yeah. New England is a very strange place with a lot of odd customs.
That's the impression that I get. And
What's up?
I just like that phrase.
You are from there, Keith.
I am from there, yeah.
You are a New Englander through and through.
My whole life.
Recently, you traveled to the West Coast for the first time.
For the first ever time, yeah.
What is your review of America to the west of, let's say, Detroit?
So my first impression of Los Angeles was that it was a lot like Florida, which is one place I've been. I know that sounds like an insult, but the weather is very nice in Florida, and a lot of the, if not the architectural style, then the vibe was very similar. But I mostly saw the inside of Art's home because there was a hurricane.
That's true.
That didn't remind me of Florida in there at all.
Inside Art's home? No.
Yeah. And then we drove out to the desert, and that was like nothing I've ever seen. I felt like I was on Mars. It was like the first thing was like every New England suburb has this is not just New England, this is all over America. But it has like a horrible strip mall with like a big box store and a Best Buy and a Walmart, or like closed stores like a Kohl's and a bunch of closed down local businesses and a Taco Bell and a Panera and just like all of that kind of stuff, a Guitar Center maybe. It was like that, but there was no suburb. It was just desert. So it'd be like a desert, apartment complex, strip mall, desert, apartment complex, strip mall. And then you get past all that and it's pure desert. And then it's like desert community, desert. And I just couldn't get over that you could see the shadows of the clouds on the horizon, because in New England there's no horizon.
Extraordinary feeling.
There's no horizon at all because everywhere around you is trees. Basically, you can't go half a mile without running into some trees. So you never can see the horizon. So you never see that there's clouds. The clouds have shadows. You can see the shadows when they are cast over you, but besides that, the cloud just exists as something in the sky. They have no connection to what's happening on the ground, really.
It's such a feeling, and I've been having the inverse moving from LA to Ann Arbor, a city of trees, and just being like, holy shit, trees are so big.
The tree's right in the name.
The tree's right in the name. He named it after like an arbor where his wife and the wife of his friend used to hang out.
Is that the Anne from the Ann Arbor?
That is the Anne, yeah. The
Oh.
Annes. I believe
Wow.
both the ladies were called Anne. This can't be right.
The place is
I
called
have to-
Wife Tree.
I think I live in Wife Tree. Let me see.
Wife Tree, Michigan is a way better name.
Yes, Allen and Rumsey, John Allen and Elisha Walker Rumsey, who were land speculators, who built a sawmill, purchased the land for $800 from the federal government and decided to name it for their wives, both named Anne. And then, in the classic
Wow.
ghoulish horror of American history, the following sentence is: the local Ojibwa names the settlement Kogush Kornik after the sound of Allen's sawmill.
Ooh.
Deeply unpleasant.
Yeah.
But yes, it is a city of trees still, despite the efforts of John Allen and Elisha Walker Rumsey.
And their horrible sawmill that goes gagoosh.
Yes, their horrible sawmill, which I hope is gone now.
Just a funny
Sylvie.
duck coincidence. We got a cactus duck while we were talking about the desert.
Oh. Yeah, I saw a lot of cactuses. I saw the Joshua trees that I didn't really know were everywhere. They're everywhere. I saw
That's-
50,000
what they-
Joshua
That's
trees.
That's why they call it that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you thought it was just one? Like,
I thought it
there
was like a
a Joshua
significant-
tree?
It's like Ann Arbor, right? It's the tree where the Joshuas went and hung out.
Yeah.
But instead, it is named Joshua Tree because it would be as if the place was called Tree, and you were like, the one tree will be there, and instead it's thousands and thousands.
I would
of
be like
trees.
that, I think.
Yeah,
That's just, you know.
yeah. They should have called it Trees. If it should have been called Joshua Trees, not Joshua Tree. Although there is a town down the street called 29 Palms with the plural.
That place
And
to
there's
me
only
sounds
29
like a
palms there?
casino.
Yeah, that's a place where you
Or
go
a
to lose
mall.
thousands of dollars.
Yeah, either way.
It was named for the palm trees found there in 1852 by Colonel Henry Washington while surveying the San Bernardino baseline. A post office was established in 1927. What are your favorite winter drinks, Sylvie?
Yeah.
So I, until recently, was not really a warm drinks person. I just never really found ones that I liked. I'm not huge into bitter flavors. So the stuff that I always got exposed to for hot drinks was either hot chocolate or stuff that was bitter. Now I have started getting into the sugary, shitty coffee genre. of
Hell
drink.
yeah.
Sort of like vanilla lattes and the like, that sort of thing. There's a coffee shop that I walk to where I can get a pretty nice mocha on the regular. But I just need some sort of like sweetening thing in there for my coffee. Cause the reason why I didn't have a hot monster, the only reason, is because I'm trying to not have energy drinks anymore. And if I'm gonna have caffeine,
Yeah.
I'll get it from coffee instead.
Speaking real quick of the West Coast, I had a really great coffee at the Joshua Tree coffee place that we went to, called Joshua Tree Coffee.
Oh yeah, that place is good.
Yeah.
Even when we were living in LA, we would find that kind of coffee on shelves in the city.
Oh. Yeah, they had like a really light roast, which is what I like. I'm looking at it right now. The Bali Kintamani. I had it and I was like kind of skeptical because Joshua Tree is not the place where I was like expecting to find a really good coffee, but I was like, if one of these is going to be really good, it's going to be this one, I bet. And I tried it and I was like, this is one of the best coffees I've had. I meant to buy a bag of it and forgot. But I think they'll ship it to me. Maybe I'll get
I'm
some.
sure
Sorry,
they'll ship
Sylvie.
it
I
to
didn't.
Yeah.
No,
before I
you're fine.
forgot,
You're
shout
good.
out to Joshua
Listen.
Tree Coffee.
these streams are all about sharing drink thoughts, and that was a drink thought. So don't
Sylvie,
worry about it.
your mention of the vanilla latte reminded me that like that was my actual real gateway to coffee was the Tim Hortons vanilla.
Oh yeah,
Did they just call it a vanilla latte?
they just call it a French vanilla.
Right, the French vanilla. Yeah, because it's like it's not really coffee. It's like vanilla hot chocolate. It's like hot vanilla.
Right.
It's like a hot vanilla. That's all it is. And
Hot vanilla.
I can't drink them anymore, but like for a while that was my Tim Hortons go-to because it made me feel like a grown-up instead of being I can
like
only
them.
order
They're
Pepsis
nice.
and ice caps. They've broadened their stuff. I was like pleasantly surprised that to compete with Starbucks, I think they've started offering a lot more like cold brew and oat milk stuff, and like there's a much wider variety of stuff at Tim Hortons than there used to be a few years ago, which is
I
nice.
have never had coffee at... No, that's not true. I have had coffee at Tim Hortons while I was studying in the University of Victoria, and it was some of the worst coffee I've
It's
ever
not
drunk.
great.
Oh no,
in
it's
my
like I would say industrial grade is sort of how it feels.
Yeah.
My go-to truly terrible American coffee is Dunkin' Donuts, which is just foul.
Well, hold on now.
Yes?
The New Englander has entered the chat.
Dunkin' Donuts coffee, their normal house blend that they serve, they're not as diligent about making sure that their coffee is fresh, but I think that it is absolutely better than the equivalent at Starbucks.
It tastes to me like getting hit in the head with a pan.
I find it extremely mild.
Getting hit in the head with a pan. You're like,
No.
no, this is okay to me. No, I like Dunkin' Donuts for the donuts, but I will... Oh, here's what I do like about their coffee. Do they still do the coffee in the, like, polystyrene cups?
I think they might not.
It is more sustainable to do it in paper cups
Yes.
or cardboard cups.
Yeah, it is. I think
and
they
in
may
that
have,
sense,
they
it
may
is
have finally gotten rid of the
objectively better.
polystyrene.
But something about the experience of I'm in New York, it's
Drinking coffee
too
out of
early in
foam.
the morning, I'm drinking just foul coffee out of foam. That is good to me. The worst coffee machine I've ever encountered was at the University of Victoria. I'm sure I've talked about this, maybe in the last Drinks Girlies stream, where it seemed to have been made in the 70s and was like made of brown plastic. They had chosen to make it out of brown plastic. And it just, dribbled out the worst possible coffee in the lobby of the English Literature Building.
Yeah, I do like a shitty coffee.
I do like a
just
shitty coffee, yeah.
Like from a diner or from like an auto machine at a you're at a car dealership. Oh, I love a car dealership. Or a car dealership. Hot chocolate is another strange pleasure of mine.
Sure.
Just like
And
free lobby coffee, I think, and hot chocolate is to me an absolute treat.
You know it's going to be really good when the machine goes like this.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the gurgle of a free lobby coffee machine. The thing to me about Dunkin' Donuts is that it's got the worst consistency because they don't pay very well, and a lot of them are open 24 hours, or they're open late. They're open like from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. and they just have a really bad quality of service, and so you'll just get a cup of bad coffee because no one at any particular Dunkin' Donuts will want to make the coffee the right way. And so you can get a lot of terrible cups of coffee there, unlike Starbucks, which just serves bad coffee by default, but everyone pretty much makes it correctly. At Dunkin' Donuts, you'll have coffee that's a little bit better, but much
Just everybody
lower,
has gone
much lower
off-piste.
quality control.
Yeah. What is your favorite bad drink, Janine?
What do you mean? Like drink that's
Like
bad
lousy
for
coffee.
me, drink that I think other people hate.
Drink that you like,
drink that I
despite
feel
the fact that it
shame
tastes
about.
bad. Yeah.
Oh, drink that tastes bad but that I like.
Yeah.
But if I like it, it tastes good by default.
Or do you mean? I mean, I guess the other
necessarily.
thing here is like a thing that's controversial, right? Like a lot of people hate it, but you really love it.
Right. Like I could say Moxie, but then I would have to argue actually that Moxie is delicious and that not liking it is wrong.
The chat is now talking about Malort, the extremely
Malort,
foul-tasting spirit of Chicago,
Yeah.
which I have never tried. Have any of you tried?
No,
Malort?
I never tried it.
No.
It's supposed to be just awful.
It's supposed to be just awful. Yeah. I would try Malort. I would try Malort in a second.
Oh yeah, I would try it. I probably wouldn't have a good time, or I might try it and be like,
Todd Howard says, "Is Moxie a New England thing?" Yes, Moxie's a New England thing, but it's a known quantity for everyone on Discord right now, I think.
Oh, I can tell you a thing that I like had a breakthrough recently. When I was a kid, I really, really, really liked when I was sick, and my mom would make me a cup of Neocitrin. It was like hot
what is
lemonade.
Neocitrin?
What
I
is
think
Neocitrin?
it's like Lemsip, Jack.
Oh, sure, okay. Yeah.
It's like
What
a
is
hot
Lemsip?
citrus
Is it a
drink
Hyron
that's
thing?
like no,
it's what he has
it's
to
a
drink.
ship, yeah. No, Lemsip and Neocitrin I think are it's like cold kind of. It's for like making your throat feel better, but it's like a hot lemony.
It is, at least
thing.
specifically in the UK, medicated. It is a lemon acetaminophen drink.
Acetaminophen drink. Wow.
Yeah, to the point where it has about the same dosage as. Oh,
I'm gonna put this
As-
Neocitrin commercial I remember from the 90s on loop because it's
hell yeah.
it's cool.
Yes, it has about the same dosage of acetaminophen as like a standard dose. But they have to put, especially in the UK, a lot of warnings on it because people will just be like, "Yum, a lemon drink."
Yeah, I'll just drink this. It's good. It's yummy.
Yeah, and because acetaminophen is actually extremely bad for you.
Yes,
That's
yes,
not
they
great
put
for you,
those
for sure.
things on the packet for a reason.
Yeah.
The dog has delivered me some Neocitrin.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, this guy
So
looks great.
I was a kid and I really loved Neocitrin, and then I sort of forgot about it for a bit, and then I got some when I was like in college or something when I was sick, and I tried it and I was like, this tastes like shit. Why does this taste like absolute fucking shit? I'm so mad. And then, like, truly, like a month ago, I looked at the actual instructions on the Neocitrin because I was like, maybe I just did it bad. Like, how much water am I supposed to put in here? And then I realized on the instructions, they tell you can put sugar or honey in it. And I realized, oh, when my mom was making me Neocitrin when I was a kid, she was absolutely putting a shit ton of sugar in it. That's why I liked it so much, because it was hot lemonade with aspirin in it.
Yes, yes. She had invented the way to. She'd basically made you a cocktail
Yeah. Yes.
as a child. One of these ducks is a crossword.
Oh. I gotta find this duck. Wait, where's this crossword duck?
Sylvie,
that-
did we ever get to your hot drinks? I think
Yeah,
we
covered
did.
it. Yeah, we covered
Whoops.
it.
So it's you don't
it's
like
like
hot
a-
drinks, but you started drinking.
I started drinking sort of vanilla flavored
sweet
coffees or
coffees, yeah.
mochas. Yeah. I don't know how to make coffee myself.
Really?
Yeah, no, I'm stunningly incompetent about a lot of things. It's
Do you
fine.
like just like a sort of an Americano, or do you prefer a milk blended? drink.
I can't. No, I need a milk blend or something.
Yeah.
I need it. Just like. Yeah. No, I don't know. I need something.
You should try coffee milk. I think you'd probably like coffee milk.
Yeah, you should
Is
give it a
that-
go.
is that
I'm gonna
caffeinated?
get everyone on Friends of the Table to like one New England regional thing.
Everyone already likes cabinets. What's your problem?
Well, that's the name.
Everyone's
That
on
doesn't
Team
count. It's
Cabinet.
got to be. No, it's got to be. I got to export hots for your Italian subs.
What
and I gotta
is
get someone-
cabinets?
That's a milkshake. That's a New England word for a milkshake. Well, it's
Okay.
a Rhode Island, super hyper regional, old school Rhode Islandism for a milkshake.
The first Keith regionalism that I remember, and I'm curious if it's the same for you two, is like an obscure variant on bowling.
Yeah, it's the.
Oh yeah,
the-
Cannabin Bowling.
New England candlepin
I was
bowling.
gonna say cannabis bowling.
And I remember you introducing that to a baffled cast. Because it sounds like something that you had made up at the time. And then as it
Yeah.
became increasingly clear that you hadn't, and that everybody understands and plays this where you're from.
Yeah. It is the absolute by far only way to play bowl. You have to go to a place that specifically has non-candlepin bowling in New England.
Huh.
And it'll be like most places are like, okay, we've got 10 lanes of candlepin bowling, and then we've got 2 or 4 lanes of what we call big ball bowling.
Oh, that was the other thing.
Ew. What?
Because the balls are bigger. The candlepin ball is like the size. It's like maybe twice the size of a skee ball.
Wait. Is that... I'm just realizing now, I think I've maybe... Okay, wait, do the candlepin bowling pins... Are they weird? They're weird, right?
They're long and skinny. Yeah, they look like candles.
Okay. I'm just realizing that, like, when I've gone bowling, it's mostly been maybe the candlepin balls, but normal pins. Like, the pins are always normal, but the
Really?
balls don't have holes in them. I've never, like,
Oh, the like
stuck
little
my...
ones? Yeah.
Yeah, there's no holes. They're just big, heavy shit.
I don't
like
think
a
I've
top
ever
plate.
stuck my fingers in an actual bowling ball hole, even though I've gone bowling a lot.
The bowling
Samian
balls are the
says
most
duck
fun bit.
pin is the name of that type. I've heard of duck pin bowling, but I don't really know what it is. Okay, so duck pin bowling, these bowls are way bigger than normal bowling balls. Or, sorry,
Oh.
bowling ball pins. So like these are even in that a candle pin is like a normal bowling pin stretched out. This is like a normal bowling pin flattened.
Yes, it is the short guy of
Yeah.
the bowling world.
And then this ball looks a bit bigger than a candle pin ball, too. So
when
it's
I
like,
was a kid, the draw of going bowling, which I did maybe twice in my childhood, maybe 3 times, and I always had a good time. There were 2 draws for me. The first 3. The first was the animations on the scoreboards.
Oh yeah.
Those things, when you're
love
a kid.
that. Yeah, it's a blast.
Austin in the chat says, I cannot believe I tuned in just in time for Keith to be talking again about candlepin bowling.
It's just the second time in
Time is a flat
years.
circle.
The second thing that I liked about going bowling when I was a kid was the sort of marbled patterns on the bowling balls. The beautiful colors and the shades. And also the fact that, to a child, they were far too heavy and felt like obscure, weird weapons that I had to interact with to make the bowling happen. The
You
third
should
thing
have been
I
trying
liked,
candlepin bowling. Those are
Well,
perfect
no,
for the little hands of children.
but I liked the big, ridiculous ones. The third thing I liked was bunking off the bowling and playing air hockey instead in the arcade.
Oh yeah, we
Sure.
had Time Crisis.
Oh, my
Our
God.
kid.
I like to
Amazing.
do both. I like to do, you do a frame bowling, and then you go try to get $10 from your mom to go play, like House of the Dead.
Yeah. Oh, House of the Dead fucking ruled.
Yeah.
This place didn't have a bunch of arcade games, but it did have air hockey, and I had never encountered air hockey before, other than at the Hollywood Bowl in Taunton. And this, to me, was the coolest thing in the world, and if I'm perfectly honest, remains so.
Air hockey is extremely cool, yes.
I love air hockey. Yeah, we had an air hockey when I was a kid. We had an air hockey table. Like
You
one of the-
owned an air hockey table?
yeah.
My family also did for a little bit. Yeah.
Oh my
shit.
God, the luxury!
Which meant
Holy shit!
my friends and I, the way we played would be hit it as hard as you can to see if you could injure the other person with
Yeah,
the
classic game. This,
yeah.
this I feel is the game that anybody who plays air hockey in a supervised environment is yearning to play.
No, I was not. I was yearning to play it the way I was playing it, which
I'm
was
now what I'm
tamely
confused of-
and frightenedly, but having fun.
I'm confused. Why weren't you hitting it as hard as you could at the mall or whatever?
Because I was a good child.
But it's made for it. That's what it's for.
No, at
no.
the mall, I was trying to beat my sister Alice. That was
Yeah,
what I was trying to do.
versus lodging the puck in her eye socket or whatever.
Oh, well, but one of the ways
Mostly
to
going
win
for
is to
knuckles.
hit it as fast as you can, right?
That's true. I suppose I wasn't playing actively versus Alice, but body and soul, so much as versus Alice at air hockey.
Right.
Sylvie, were
I
you
get
like
you.
a quarters and knuckles kid? That game with
I
at
was
the
a
school
grub
desk where you
knuckles
put
kid.
your knuckles down and your friend has to
Yeah.
flick a quarter and then everyone bleeds
I did
a
it
lot.
one time and was like, nah, this isn't it.
I used to do that at lunch at school, and then we also played tennis, hand tennis. We know about this game. Also, sometimes some people
we can
call it
extrapolate
slaps,
the
but
rules.
there's another game that's called slaps that
Is
people
this
know.
the one where you put your hands together like you're praying, but you point them forwards and you touch the tips of your middle fingers together, and then you try and hit the other person's hand, and they sort of have to dodge it?
So that is also called slaps, and I also played that. But the other game that we called slaps or tennis was you sort of grasp the other person's hand, like by the thumbs, like that. And then what you do is take turns smacking the other person's hand as hard as you can until one of you gives up.
Oh, this doesn't really seem like a game.
It-
Well, I mean,
it's
I
the
suppose
game
withstand
of
pain is a game.
it's a pain game.
This is what the world was like for children before things with lithium batteries.
I also had a Game Boy.
That didn't have a lithium battery.
No, well, Game Boy SP did.
Was the Game Boy? It was like AA batteries, right?
Yeah, 2 AA's. Yeah,
Yeah.
Amazing.
that was an oddly expensive monthly cost that I never really understood until I had to buy a pack of batteries. Maybe batteries were cheaper in the 90s. I
Game
don't
Gear
know.
was like 6, so I basically never got to play it. Except if it was like by an outlet.
Without looking it up, does anybody know how batteries work?
Yes.
There's little fairies in them.
Yeah, fairies and
Yeah,
ghosts.
I'm with Sylvie and Janine, but Keith, you seem fairly confident.
Yeah. So I mean, the first thing that they do is that they complete a circuit of electricity
Oh, sure.
in the thing. So they take a broken circuit and make it a complete circuit. And then the other thing that they do is that they store they store electrodes that release the current when the circuit is going, and it forms like a loop where they're then going through the rest of the thing. And then I mean, they're really just like big capacitors is really like
They got
instead of-
guys in them.
they got guys
I put a
in
video
them.
on the stream that will explain batteries.
Imagine if this was the animation at the bowling alley.
Wait, let me. Oh, there it is.
Chemicals. This is chemicals.
It's chemicals.
Chemicals do it.
Any such cases.
That's beer.
What is beer if not a chemical?
That is what they say. What is beer if not a chemical? Oh, I also went to a bookstore in Ann Arbor today called
Called the beer chemical.
the Beer Chemical. No, what was it called? It was called Literati in Ann Arbor. It was great. It was a really good bookstore, and the woman running it was a lady with an absolute cut glass English accent. And I got halfway through the transaction with her, and she just sort of said, "Now, where are you from?" And I said, where I was from, and I was able to be specific in a way that I'm not able to be with Americans. She was like, "Oh yes, my husband was from there." And it turned out that this lady has been living in Ann Arbor for 38 years. She's like a fully naturalized American citizen. But she was like, it was really nice to meet someone who had gone through the entire awful USCIS process and had come out on the other side.
It's possible.
Alive and functional in
yes.
society.
An immigrant elder working the bookstore in Ann Arbor. It was very good. So I bought a detective book, and I bought a book of essays by Ursula Le Guin.
Oh, I love that.
I have a lot of Le Guin books that I have not read. I
brilliant.
started reading one and sort of dropped off of it. I was enjoying it, but it felt like it wasn't giving me a lot. Like it was like
What the
I
fuck?
guess it was slow. It was a slow starter, and I feel like I got like a third of the way in, and I'm like, this feels like it still hasn't really started.
She takes her time. She rotates objects in her brain and in the reader's brain for a long time, and then you suddenly realize that the objects are spinning and hitting other objects.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are there any other drinks content that we want to discuss here? in the
Yeah,
winter
that's
time?
I don't know what this duck is made out of. Yeah, I want like a big, like, maybe the thing to end on is like, what winter drink do people want to get a little bit more into? You know?
That's a great question.
I'm as deep into tea and coffee as you can get, so
Yeah.
it's not that. Every year I make a nog or two. That's delicious. I love eggnog.
I think that's my answer. Is
Oh,
I haven't
eggnog?
even tried a nog before.
I've never tried eggnog, but I'm lactose intolerant now, so it's like I just feel like it's even more complicated, you know?
I highly recommend skipping right to making it yourself and not buying it in the stores, because at the store, they're not allowed to put as much raw egg in there as you're supposed to.
Wait.
for
I
eggnog.
thought of
What the-
wait. I want Okay, wait, Jack, what do you know about eggnog, all right? You've had eggnog?
No, I mean,
Okay. Well,
they sell it in the UK.
No, I know. I want the people who have not had eggnog to explain
Yeah.
what they think eggnog is.
So I
Materially.
thought it was. I can give you 3 parts of it, but I don't know
Yeah.
if I can
Are there
explain.
people who? I didn't know that everyone didn't know what
process of-
eggnog is.
No, like, dude.
That's where the comedy
as
is.
far as I'm concerned, eggnog in my brain it could be made by like taking an orange juicer and putting an egg in it, and that's
What?
the juice that comes out.
Wait,
not actually, but
I know
like
eggnog
like
is
it-
not a regional thing.
No, it's not. It's just
Um,
yucky sounding. It just
no,
sounds
so
bad.
my brain is like egg, milk,
Yeah.
alcohol.
Okay.
Yeah, and
I
spices.
think it is like
Okay.
Keith,
like
let
thick milk.
let it happen. Thick milk.
It's thick milk.
Yeah, it is thick. That's something I've always.
Mm-hmm.
It's
assumed.
got vanilla. It's got sugar. It's got cinnamon and cloves. It's mulled milk.
I
malt.
kind of when I was a kid, much like I thought Cadbury cream eggs had real egg inside them, instead of like
alas.
marshmallow and stuff, I was like, why do people like this? It's chocolate with a raw egg inside. People are disgusting. I thought that eggnog was just like, basically, you know when they sell like a carton of egg, like Simply Egg or whatever?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I thought,
Simply egg.
I thought it was basically that with like maybe some spices. And then as I've grown, I know now that there's other stuff. I assume it's like egg and milk and then like alcohol or spices and maybe
way they-
sugar.
Austin asks how they make the milk thick, and I just assumed you just keep adding eggs until it's thick.
Yeah, or like boil it,
Yeah.
Or like compress it.
Should I give my
add sour cream. Yeah, you should explain. You should explain
Okay,
now.
so here's my
100%.
eggnog recipe. You take 6 large eggs,
How much does this make? First of all.
a pitcher.
Okay.
This makes like I don't know, like half a gallon or something like that, maybe.
Is nog typically served from a pitcher?
Yeah, pitcher or like a punch bowl. You could punch bowl yourself some
okay.
nog.
This might be part of the aversion. Is I don't like clear
Clear.
containers for
You can get an opaque punch bowl.
white drinks. Okay, sure.
You don't like clear containers for white drinks?
I don't know how to explain it.
Uh,
I'm a deeply neurotic person about certain things, and I don't know.
Is this
if
the
this is
real?
how it is.
What's the tweet about? It's the tweet about the shape of soup. Are you familiar with this?
Yeah. Soup is a circle.
Yes, I want to see if I can find
What?
it. Oh yes, this is a tweet from. Oh, you're unable to view this post because this account owner limits who views their posts. Let's see. Here we
Oh,
go.
I love them.
Their work's really fantastic. This is a tweet by Chunk Bardi Charlie on Twitter on the 6th of January 2021. They tweet, "Putting soup in a square Tupperware. ... It's just not right.
No, that's disgusting.
It should be a circle one, which is the shape of soup." And yeah, this is how you feel about the a clear picture. With,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just something about it that feels
Okay.
unappealing.
Well, the good news is you
Also,
can
nog
put it
is
in any
typically
whatever
warm,
kind of
yeah?
container you're comfortable with. It can fit in there.
Okay, like most liquid.
Yes, like most
Okay,
liquid.
it shares that with them. That's
It
good
will
to know.
fit into any other kind of thing. I take 6 eggs. I separate them. I use like a cup and a quarter of sugar. You could also do half granulated, half ground sugar, or a brown sugar if you want. Like a teaspoon of salt, and then you get 2 cups of whole milk, 3 cups of heavy cream.
That's
2
how you get the
cups.
thick milk.
Not quite, because you've separated your yolks and your. Well, I guess it is. You've separated your yolks and your whites from those 6 eggs, and that is another thing that helps with the thickness. 2 cups of whiskey or dark rum. You could do vodka if you wanted, but I like something brown. Is I think works better and tastes better. I like whiskey. And then you've got your nutmeg, cinnamon, clove if you like clove. Clove a little bit goes a long way with the clove. And then you sort of let that cool in the fridge for, I don't know, like 3-4 hours. You also kind of want the alcohol to kill a lot of the egg if something's
the
wrong with your egg.
bad stuff. Yes.
Yeah. And then after those 2 or 4 hours, you take your whites and you blend them up. You blend them up until they're sort of soft, somewhere between like medium peaks. And then you fold it into the rest of the drink. And that's eggnog.
Oh, like a meringue.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's like drinkable meringue
Yeah,
milkshake.
And then that's also where a lot of your thickness comes in. And it's sort of like, it'll separate a little bit. And so you'll get like a foamy egg head on top of your, nog.
So
You don't have to do that. You can just do it with eggs like all together. But I like the folding in. It adds some thickness, adds some
You want the
body to
foamy
it.
egg head.
Yeah, and then you can garnish the top, a little extra nutmeg on top.
where is the best place to get eggnog if I am not going to make it myself? Obviously, making it myself is the way to go.
Like a farmer's market.
Okay, yeah, because you're not going to get it in a supermarket. You're gonna
A supermarket, it is against the law for them to sell you that much raw egg intended for consumption. So they do this. They'll just like do the exact recipe, but with no alcohol and no egg.
raw egg, which is sort of missing out.
Right, it's a milk nog at that point.
Yes, no, don't want that. Oh, right, Zingerman's Creamery sells eggnog.
Well, there you go. I found a commercial for some sort of snack called eggnog that's like a crunchy snack, and I don't know.
In the chat, CT Dridgen says the thing is just a carton from the supermarket is totally fine. To me, that is cloyingly sweet. It is a like disgusting, over eager dessert. I'm sure that there's some brand that sells it that it's not so
What if you
disgustingly
like
sweet.
mix that with like whipping cream or whatever?
If you mix that with alcohol, maybe then
Yeah.
that might tone it back a bit. But I just like a less sweet drink.
I might.
It's a good
I'm gonna be
first
honest,
try,
I
but
might-
if you taste it and you're like, this is too thick and too sweet, I don't blame you.
I'm curious about eggnog, but I have to be honest. A thing I really do want to try this year is the hot Dr. Pepper over lemon.
Yeah,
I
I
just-
kind of would try.
I
that.
kind of think it's probably good. Like, I feel like it's
normal
probably
lemon.
good.
It's just like beef broth on ice. They wouldn't have advertised it in the 70s if it wasn't delicious.
Excuse me?
No, what? No, Keith. No.
You're
Is that a
drinking
drink?
beef on the rocks?
Yeah, beef on the
Hang on,
rocks.
yeah, this is how
Janine
I
knows
remember-
beef on the
yeah.
rocks. I know Janine knows beef on the rocks.
I wonder if there's a commercial for it or if it was just a print ad.
It was a joke, right?
No.
No, this
No,
is
it's
real.
real.
And it was called Beef on the Rocks?
No,
that's
it wasn't. That's just what Toby said.
What's
It's basically like, wow, try our delicious beef, shit, what the fuck is the word? Stock over ice this summer for a refreshing taste of beef.
I found it. I found two. I'm gonna bring these up on the
You
stream.
found two?
I found two. There's soup on the rocks, Campbell's beef broth right out of the can and onto the ice. Take it
No.
straight or add a dash of Worcestershire
Nuh-uh.
sauce or lemon peel for a kicky switch. Great way to cool off a hot day.
I'm telling you now, that is delicious.
It's great for dieters too. Only 16 calories a 5-ounce serving. Don't even wait for a real hot day. Start pouring now. Cheers.
I'm going
Good.
to want it.
If you have like if you drink chicken, especially chicken, like a homemade chicken or beef stock, it's delicious just on its own. It's so good.
But not on ice, Keith.
I love this
Yeah, it's
because
the
it just
on
looks
ice
like
part.
Coke. It just looks like I'm just imagining like doing
really
this and then
does.
handing it to someone like, here you go.
That's a good prank.
Also,
That is the inverse
I
of me
just
going,
go ahead.
going, this is grape juice, and picking it up and going, oh shit, it's champagne.
I just
Going,
realized
oh, Coca-Cola.
they're not saying drink beef broth. They're saying what they're doing is using a can of the condensed beef broth.
Oh no.
They're not putting water or anything in. They're not decondensing it.
Right. Yeah. That's how I know it's good. It's got that real intense beef flavor. The water comes from the ice.
It's like the cow is just straight in your mouth.
I want to
it's
die right now.
it's scrolled by. Where is it in the chat? Someone said hot broth, yes. Yeah, Library Cat says hot broth, yes. Cold broth, no thanks. We've got to destroy the barrier in our minds that something that's hot is different than something that's cold.
That
Heat is the mind
true.
killer.
Something that's hot is different.
That
from
is,
something
I
that's
think,
cold,
the
Keith.
Yeah, it
angriest
is.
I've ever been at
Yeah.
something you've said, Keith.
I'm just saying, like, if it's good hot, it can be good cold.
I'm genuinely about to start pacing.
You have to take into account the temperature. But once you've done that,
Well,
you can tear down that wall.
They're not fundamentally the same, though.
I'm trying to think so hard of something that would be absolutely repulsive cold.
Yeah, you can't do it. Everybody will eat cold
I mean, the thing is, like,
leftovers.
I will not. That's the thing, is like, this is also like, did you grow up on pasta salad?
I didn't grow up on pasta salad, but I had it.
But it was like part of your life. Like, I can't,
it's part of
I
my
can't
summer.
do
You know, you
a
go to
pasta
the summer, have
salad.
a pasta salad.
It's unacceptable to me. Pasta is
What about
supposed
a
to be
warm
hot
pasta
to me.
salad?
That'd
Now,
probably be
pasta
okay.
salad
But
I'm fine with.
I'm just,
see, okay, well, you know, it's slippery. I do want
but
to
it is-
say.
This part
I
is
also
fun.
I have the recipe up here for beef fizz, which is the evolution of the soup on the
Beef
rocks.
Is
Beef fizz. 2
Yeah.
cans condensed beef broth, 1 cup chilled ginger ale, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice.
Oh,
Combine and
now
pour over
I have-
ice.
I have a cold wintertime beverage, maybe for Sylvie, but I think for anybody. Everybody knows that orange juice is the summer juice. Cranberry juice is the winter juice.
Oh.
And one of my
Whoa.
favorite family treats, this is like a favorite around Thanksgiving and Christmas, and they started selling this pre-made in the stores, but it's not good. Don't get it that way. It is a mix of cranberry juice and ginger ale.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
And that's
yeah.
amazing. Love that.
They just
I've had
sell
the
cranberry
peanut
flavored
one,
ginger ale
good.
up here also.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's bad.
Yeah.
That way, it's not good. You can't get it
it's
that
fine.
way. You got to get it You got to get the juice separate and the ginger ale separate and mix them on your own.
It makes it less carbonated. It's not fully carbonated then though.
It's not fully carbonated, but the flavor is much better.
Yeah. I recently found a new cranberry juice blend that's cranberry pineapple, and it is great. It's very clearly distinctly two separate things and not like a new flavor combined. But I like cranberry juice and pineapple juice, so it's been
that sounds
a
good.
very nice
I love pineapple
winter juice.
I wonder if there's another winter juice, because pineapple is decidedly summer. But once you add the cranberry, that could be year round. Who cares?
Yeah. I associate like V8 and vegetable like tomato juice with the holidays.
Sure.
Despite the fact that I hate them so much.
That's all someone has to do is say V8 or vegetable juice, and I'm immediately like, I could go for a Bloody Mary.
Yeah, I quite like a Bloody Mary.
Yeah, me too.
Is a Bloody Mary the winter mimosa?
A Bloody Mary I think it is the winter mimosa.
I think I agree.
Wow.
I haven't had one since the last winter.
What do you think? Okay, here's a temperature thing. How would you feel about a hot Bloody Mary?
Awful. That's a
Hottie Mary?
Alcoholics.
Well, now I'm turning around. Well, hold on a minute.
Fully on board with a hot Bloody Mary, yeah.
No, I don't think I would like it.
Because that's just an alcoholic tomato soup.
And there's something foul about that, Keith.
I think that sounds really good.
Okay, what about if you had so you've got a Bloody Mary, but instead of the V8, it is like minestrone soup.
Mo.
And it's cold. Is that okay?
So it's cold minestrone soup with vodka in it.
Yeah,
and
a celery stick.
I'm just not that big of a fan of minestrone soup, but
what's
I
the
think
soup
that
you
fine.
like that has chunks that would be acceptable in that?
Clam chowder. Whoa! I've intentionally picked the most polarizing soups I can imagine.
Oh.
I have to briefly get us off this track, pulling us off one awful train and onto the other. When we briefly discussed the terrible Chicago drink Malort earlier,
Yeah.
I remembered that it has a really good unofficial slogan and couldn't remember what it was, so I had to hunt it down, and I found it. And the unofficial slogan for Malort is Malort.
That's it.
Tonight's the night you fight your dad.
Wait, did you say that was unofficial?
Yes, I believe
okay.
that is not an official slogan.
They should adopt it as official.
So
I think that you can't do clam chowder and vodka because of the dairy
It'll
content.
separate. Yeah, it'd be
It's the dairy, so
curdle.
you literally couldn't do that. I'm having trouble thinking of soups. I mean, I guess a French onion soup.
No, that
guess
doesn't
it
have
would
enough
be-
chunks in it. I need something chunky. You can have a smooth
Chunky?
French onion.
Well, not if it's loaded up with onions. You can't.
I know, or croutons and cheese, but like I feel
Yeah.
like it's a loophole waiting to happen.
Okay, and so then I mean, pure condensed beef broth. I think a shot of vodka and like some.
No,
pure-
again, that's too smooth. You need something with chunks
okay,
for this
too smooth,
experiment.
Something with chunks. Okay. You've got maybe like Italian wedding.
Yeah, okay. I'll let you get by with that one. That's
Sausage chunks and little pasta things.
God, I think we might have killed Sylvie.
I'm fucking disgusted.
Sylvie might be done.
My tummy hurts.
What's a pleasant drink that you like and enjoy? A pleasant drink that I like and enjoy is... I like American non-alcoholic cider. It took me a while to come around on it, in part because in the UK, cider is almost exclusively alcoholic.
Yeah.
We have non-alcoholic cider in the UK. We just call it cloudy apple juice.
I've also heard it called sweet cider outside the US.
Oh, I don't think I've heard that in the UK, but sweet cider does also sound like it would make sense. But
Yeah.
I like getting a huge tub of that stuff and keeping it in my fridge and then warming it up. And that's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Love that.
I like it. I like a really good apple cider. A lot of the normal brand, the bigger brands are a little bit too sweet, but there's plenty of options, especially in New England, the apple capital of the country, as far as I'm concerned. And they've also got a bunch of really good normal ciders here too, and I think those are really fun. Get a nice, good, delicious cider.
A good drink. A good,
I
nice
like
drink that I
lemonade.
like.
That's
Yeah,
just a
lemonade's
nice drink
nice. Yeah.
that I'm gonna think about instead of nog in a clear container or beef on the rocks
or clam juice.
or clam chowder.
Clam chowder's unbelievably good. I mean,
I'm
it's
gonna yart.
so good. Clam chowder? What's
No.
wrong with clam chowder?
The textural texture.
It's
no.
just like
It looks
delicious, buttery, thick,
Isn't it lumpy?
dairy clam.
I thought it was lumpy.
Well, it's lumpy because it's full of potatoes and clams.
Oh, those are potatoes.
And
But
clams.
What did you think
Someone
it was?
name another nice drink. I don't know. Like something fish related?
Corn. How about corn chowder?
No. Like cream corn?
No, like corn off the cob, but it's in a chowder.
I don't think I'd like that.
It's really good.
I'll take your word for it.
It's a delicious, buttery potato corn. Delicious.
Sylvie, what's your favorite drink to have?
My favorite drink to have. Golly, that's a hard. I was just think of a nice drink.
What's a nice drink
favorite.
to have?
I mean, a nice drink to have. I'm gonna go with. I had a yuzu ramune recently. and that was very
Ooh,
good.
oh, that sounds good. I love
I don't
ramen.
even know what that is.
Do you know what ramune is?
No, that's the part that I didn't know about.
Okay, it's like a Japanese soda it's got kind of like a fun little gimmick where there's like a marble in the top, and you like have
Oh, I
plastic
Yeah,
have
that's
had
how
that.
they
pop this.
seal it with the marble, and then you have to unseal
Yeah.
it by
It also means you can't really like chug them or anything, which is kind of nice. But I live near a Asian grocery store that has like a ton of just like imported drinks and stuff, and they have a yuzu ramune, and it's very nice.
Oh, that sounds so good.
So when you think of all the other picky things I've said about food, also remember my incredible taste in beverages here.
Vindicated at last.
Yeah. God. I really like. I'm very partial to, now that I'm thinking about it, flavored ginger ales. I really like the cranberry ginger ale, to be honest, even though it is cloying. It's pop, you know. It's not, you can't think of it like it's juice or anything. It's pop. It is what it is. But also sometimes, I don't know if you can get this in Canada. I think I maybe have only seen it in the States. Blackberry ginger ale.
Oh wow, I've
Ooh,
never
that
had
sounds very
that.
nice.
It's very nice. Yeah, I'm a big fan. Anything with, like, it's hard to get stuff with black currants, but like black currant flavored beverages, really nice. Big
It's
fan.
illegal to get black currants here.
Yeah, there's a whole thing.
What?
Oh yeah, that's the whole thing. Is black currants were banned because they can carry a plant disease basically that hurts. I forget what. It hurts.
I could be misremembering, but I think it was partially responsible for the death of the American chestnut.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they like banned black currants. So that's why you can get a lot of black currant stuff imported, which is nice,
But not the
it's
actual
hard
black
to.
currants themselves.
No.
No, it's a different thing. It's a white pine fungus.
Ah, right. Yeah.
For me, let's see. Are we doing favorite or just a nice one that we like?
Up to you.
Favorite is too hard, but
Yeah, this is my problem.
I have got to give a shout out for the absurdly light roasted coffees out there that taste like fruit and flowers instead of like caramel and chocolate.
Yeah.
Those are good. That is
Yeah.
good stuff.
Let's get a final tally of our ducks here. Who's new?
Oh wow, we've got a profane duck with the duck
I
U
don't
on
like
it.
the profane duck. The profane duck gives me big stuff you buy in a bad bookstore with a title like
It's
I
a Spencer's
fucking love
Gift
comics.
duck.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
Spencer's Gift duck. It's a Suicide Squad duck.
I love.
Yeah.
We've gotten so
Holy
many
cow.
ducks where I'm like, this game is listening to us.
This is the duck that gives you
The
lemsip.
Neocitron duck, yeah.
Yeah.
A pineapple duck.
Pineapple?
Again, they're
We
fucking
mentioned
listening.
pineapple, didn't we?
They're listening.
Wow.
The
Why are they
echo on the
listening?
quacking after you said that was very ominous.
Donut
Homer
duck.
Simpson duck.
Donut and sprinkles is good.
Yeah, Tim Hortons duck. All right, any
I do
last?
like the two stone ducks down
Just
there.
hang it. I like that they're together
They're friends.
because it feels
It
so
looks like they're
lonely otherwise.
cuddling.
Yeah,
Exactly where they were dropped.
yeah. Any last drink thoughts?
I'm so excited to
hydrated.
see everybody in spring.
Yeah,
Oh my god, yeah.
we gotta
Spring
do.
fruity drinks.
We gotta like do a like group drink exploration. Like, is that like is spring drink time when we're like, hey, let's do like some sort of butterfly pea flower fucking thing.
Oh.
Allie can guide us through a like lavender lemonade thing or something.
Yeah, we should do a real tasting session in spring. Because as we move into the first true new year of Drinks Girlies, we are looking for sponsorship deals. That's not true.
And that's why we're
sponsorship
brought to
deals.
you by Air Up. Air Up. It's like a water bottle and there's a stinky pod on it and you drink and then you smell the thing.
Friends at the table sponsored by Autocrat.
Drinks Girlies brought to you by Beef Fizz, the recipe with 3 ingredients.
Oh, beef.
Put it in your
fizz.
Stanley Cup. It's also Stanley Cups are here.
Hockey?
Hockey?
No, wait, are they called Stanley? What are they called? The like
I don't know what.
the like water talk girlies really like them.
Stanley? Yeah, that's Stanley.
I just realized it's weird that it's called the Stanley Cup or Stanley.
Oh,
Stanley
What do
okay.
they actually call
Thermos?
it?
I see what this is called now.
Tumbler?
They're Stanley brand.
Oh, Tumblr. Yeah, that
They
would
have
be
a winged
yeah.
bear? You don't
Website,
see that
you
very
mean.
often.
Yeah.
Their logo is a winged bear. Sick.
I hate that Bing is immediately like, "Oh, you want to talk about the Stanley Tumbler with a robot? Cool, I'll do that."
No.
I don't.
Absolutely not.
Oh my
like
god,
that.
these are $100.
I don't like that either.
I'm saying I'm gonna put my foot down. Down with Tumblr culture. I don't get it. I don't understand it.
I
Yeah,
also
these
don't care much for
Fan
tumblers.
posts and their gift sets and their.
Keith is a Tumblr anti.
Yeah.
Oh no.
We just need a realistic accounting of how many portable drink things one person needs. You know what I mean? And it's like
Bottle
2 or
cup.
3 tops.
It's like a
Yeah.
water bottle is usually how what I'm rocking with.
Okay, hang on. It automatically suggested that I ask, what is the difference between a tumbler and a travel mug? Because I am curious. What is materially the difference between the two? A tumbler is a cylindrical container that is commonly made of durable materials like stainless steel or BPA-free plastic. It is double-walled, vacuum insulated, which helps keeps your drinks hot or cold for longer periods of time. With its sturdy construction and a snug-fitting lid, a tumbler offers a spill-proof experience, making it ideal for drinking on-the-go sipping. Tumblers are versatile companions, catering to a wide range of scenarios. Whether you're commuting to work,
like a dog.
hitting the gym, or embarking on an outdoor adventure, a tumbler is an excellent choice. Its spill-proof design and impressive insulation make it perfect for keeping your morning coffee piping hot or your water refreshingly cool as you conquer the day. On the
I'll
other
say this,
hand,
by the way, you can go to runbutton.shop and buy the Fruit or Grape tumbler.
ooh, true. On
Against
the other
Tumblr
hand,
culture, but sells one. Interesting.
You just need one.
Interesting.
You just need one. Make it the Run Button one.
a travel mug is a cylindrical cup designed to hold hot or cold beverages. With its handle affixed to the side, a mug offers a classic and comforting drinking experience. Travel mugs are cherished for their ability to evoke a sense of warmth and familiarity.
Classic AI style, this answer is wrong.
When you wrap your hands around a steaming mug of hot chocolate or aromatic tea, you're immediately transported to a cozy sanctuary. Travel mugs often feature delightful designs, allowing you to express your personal style and infuse your daily routine with a touch of individuality. Travel mugs are more popular for hot drinks, while tumblers are often used for cold drinks. In summary, tumblers and travel mugs are both cylindrical containers that are designed to hold hot or cold beverages. Tumblers are spill-proof and ideal for drinking on the go, while travel mugs offer a classic and comforting drinking experience, presumably not on the go, even though they're called travel mugs.
Yeah, what
Tumblers
the fuck?
are more versatile and can be used for both hot and cold drinks, while travel mugs are more popular for hot drinks. This is
Classic.
garbage.
Classic garbage answer from a piece of shit
Absolute
robot
trash.
that sucks.
Fucking terrible. Okay.
All around the world, venture capitalists pouring billions of dollars into this piece of bullshit.
To a thing that can't remember the word travel for a single paragraph.
Oh, God.
But we must end on a high note.
We
And
must.
for this, I will tell you. I love to drink. I love to sip.
But most
I love
of
my-
all,
I love to quip.
Wow.
Good night, everybody. We've
Friends
been
of the table dot
Drinks
shop for your
Girlies. Tip
for
waitress.
as Juke Biscuit in the chat points out, tumblers are great to put your friends of the table stickers on. We got a bunch of them out there. If you that was a very Canadian out. Yikes. Yeah, you can. We got new shirts on Friends of the Table shop. We got new sweatshirts. We've got sticker sheets. That sticker promo, what we should mention, is still live for a couple days. It ends on the 3rd, I think, probably late in the evening.
Say hat. We've got hats.
Yes, we have a beanie. Comes in red or yellow. But if you order $100 worth of stuff, and then you add the calcium Yemo sticker sheet to your cart, a little magical coupon thing will happen that will make that sticker sheet free.
once you go buy all that stuff on Friends of the Table, go to runbutton.shop and buy a backpack to put it all in.
Yeah. Hey, what would happen if you heated up calcium? Because it's like solid, right? It's milk you eat.
Would it melt or harden? Is the
Yeah,
question.
would it melt or would it stay the same? Or would it harden?
I think it would bake.
Popping.
I think it would bake and start to it would start to brown like.
Oh, would it like turn into a
butter.
flan? Wait, is
it would start to
calcium just like
caramelize.
It'd be like when you light a sparkler.
Oh.
It would just start doing that.
Huh.
Fascinating. We have to get some calcium.
We have to
Yeah.
get some that'll be our spring drink girlies. We're all eating milk.
Whoa.
All right, take care everyone. Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. all.
Bye.